Gather round, freaks, because it's time for us to welcome you back to another exciting goo-covered page of the Grimoire of Familiar Killers. This week, the goo isn't the regular goo that comes out of the grimoire, but space goo that comes out of an alien's mouth, or acidic goo that comes out of an alien's knuckle joint when you cut it with a space laser. Other than that, we just got to ask you guys all, hey, did you see this one?
The night is dark, and the air is still. The moon casts an eerie glow over the internet, where a group of curious individuals have gathered to discuss their shared fascination for the macabre. They hold in their hands a book with a foreboding presence, bound in flesh and inked in blood, a tome of horror that only opens its pages when a sacrifice is made. Within its ancient passages lie the secrets of the most infamous murderers and monsters of all time. Join us. But beware, for once this book is open, there's no telling what horrors may be unleashed. This is the Grimoire of Familiar Killers.
What the heck?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hey, Did You See This One? Where we take a movie that you love, and we talk about it to no end. It's a roundtable discussion where we take movies that you love and we discuss them till we're done, which usually takes several hours. So this week, we're opening once again the Grimoire of Familiar Killers, which, if you're a fan of the show, you're probably a fan of this theme because we do it 3 times a year and people seem to like it. As you know, we've been covering all of your favorite slashers, but this week we've invited a new monster into the grimoire, or out of the grimoire. I don't know how it works. It's a magic book full of goo, as we've all learned. But we're talking about, of course, a movie in which no one can hear you scream from space about an alien. My name is Steven Boba Blackfly Waters. I am one of your hosts of this show. I'm joined, of course, by Jason R. Phillips this week. Jason R. Phillips, welcome back. Pal, good to see you.
Rolls right off the tongue. This is episode 223 also. We're getting up there. I'd also like to, I'll introduce our guest.
Sure.
First time on the show. Hopefully not the last. We'll see after you talk about one movie for 2 to 3 hours. But welcome to the show from the Believe It or Not YouTube program, Trevor Poelman. Trevor Poelman, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm very excited. I'm trying to keep my dance so that you can see it on the phone and on the. I'm trying to be inclusive.
I think it'll work. Yeah. It's actually like a pretty zoomed in face on the vertical.
Nice.
We all look great.
Yeah.
We all look great.
What a handsome group.
Yep. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me to the show.
What were you going to say, Steve? Sorry.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to get right into it if you guys don't mind. We have several segments to get through. Welcome, Trevor. It's a pleasure meeting you, and hopefully you enjoy your time here today. We'll talk about it at the end. You can tell us the truth, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So what we like to do first is talk about our brief history with the movie that we're discussing. But because this is a new series, I feel like maybe we can also talk about our past experience with the series as a whole, if we want to. If you don't, that's fine. But I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, you got to give us a brief synopsis to appease our.
Oh yeah, I got it out of order. Sorry, I'm a little bit flustered today.
It's okay.
Yeah, the brief synopsis. We have to appease our beautiful god who devours synopses like they're candy. Zardos, are you here?
Zardos speaks to you.
Zardos,
He demands you synopsize this film. Tell him how, why, who, what occurs in this film.
Thanks, Zardos. He's insatiable, that guy. He eats guns and synopses. Or maybe he eats synopses and barfs up guns. But either way, this is a movie. We usually ask the guest, but because it's your first time, I'll run through it quick. This is a movie about a tow truck in space that is towing a big giant ore refinery with a crew that is in hypersleep or stasis lock or whatever you want to call it. They're frozen, and they're awoken abruptly by the artificial intelligence that runs the computer called Mother, because the ship has intercepted a signal of unknown origin or something like that. They've come across something that is clearly intelligent in nature, and they have to investigate. And so after much debate, they do. And they find some eggs. Some eggs have aliens in them. Some aliens put aliens in people. And then the aliens come out of people. And then the people go into the aliens. And throughout all of this, we slowly go through classic slasher format, losing our crew one by one until the unexpected human survivor remains in the end. And it's a beautiful movie about friendship.
Oh,
this is pretty apt too. No one listens to the smart woman and she has to clean up their mess, which is the through line for all of the Alien movies, really.
Yeah.
Also, to be fair to some of the other crew members, they are also like, what the fuck? Can you freeze that guy, please, now?
That's
Parker had some good ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, now that we've gone through that, let's go to the brief history of this movie.
A brief history.
All right, so brief history. I think I already explained it. We just want you to tell your story a little bit about your first experience watching Alien, and if you can't remember it, because sometimes with these older movies you can't. You can talk about Alien as a whole. So Trevor, why don't you start us off, please?
Yeah, I think I rented it from or signed it out of the library in high school, the public library. I saw a lot of great movies that way. And Alien was one of them, and then immediately got Aliens, and I guess the rest was history. Huge influence on me, like being a sci-fi nerd. It's this and Back to the Future, probably are my two main ones that like started my journey.
Right.
So yeah.
What about Alien as a franchise? Do you have any kind of like special stories that you love?
Not really. Let's see. I enjoy viewing them.
Cool. Me too.
It's also like a classic, like blockbuster one. It was like there's a couple movies where whenever you couldn't find like a new movie to watch, it's like, okay, I guess I'll grab Alien again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I have a few of those, and a few that like my parents got so sick and tired that they're like, we just got to track down a copy of this at like a garage sale or something, because we're spending hundreds of dollars a year on Return to Oz.
12 Monkeys was one for me too, or I was constantly renting 12 Monkeys.
Jason, why don't you go next, please?
Well, It's interesting because I'll just very quickly say to Trevor, because we haven't really talked about this, but I couldn't really handle horror until much later in my life.
Okay.
So over the last 5 years or so, since COVID up until now, I've been just trying to like watch as much stuff I never saw. That's sort of what this show was birthed out of. It was the "Hey, did you see this one?" title kind of comes from that idea that, like, you know, you're at a party and somebody says, you know, have you seen 12 Monkeys? And you're like, I think I saw it on TV at one point. I wanted to sort of put my money where my mouth was.
Yeah.
And start watching all these movies. And what I did with Alien specifically, the first Alien movie, I'm sure, like, I think my dad showed it to me when I was way too young.
Yeah.
Because I do have these like weird memories of it from when I was very little.
Yeah.
But I watched it through for the first time probably about 3 or 4 years ago, and I just fell in love with the franchise. And the Alien franchise as a whole, I basically, after watching the first one, just went through all of it. I've seen the whole Weyland-Yutani like saga from Blade Runner all the way to Blade Runner 2049 with all the predators and aliens in the middle. The only thing I haven't seen at this point is Alien Earth, which I'm kind of saving for a rainy day.
Okay, I liked it. Yeah.
It did pretty well. So it's just one of those things where I just have to. TV takes a lot more to.
The show revealed to me how much of a toxic fan base the Alien people also have. You know, you're like, oh, it exists everywhere. The super nerds exist in every realm. I thought Alien was maybe like immune to that kind of criticism, but apparently not.
No.
I like you guys. I really, or like you, Trevor. I really liked that show as well. I thought it was. An interesting, fresh take with lots of cool things that were being introduced, and I was like, "This is sick."
Yeah.
Jason, are you done there? Should I?
No, just very quickly. I'm excited to watch that, but I have it all in my head, but in a way that's like I consumed it too fast. Right. So now going through these like with with a fine pick over the next couple of years, it's going to be awesome because watching this movie today. In one sitting, like there's so much going on and it's so good. So I'm very excited to talk about it.
Yeah, and as a franchise starter, it's one of the greatest things to ever exist. It's like in the same realm as like Star Wars or something for me, where I'm just like, I love this movie so much.
Is it the best one? We're gonna find out tonight, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess I'll tell you my brief history, which is it's a long history actually, but I was terrified of this movie. In my brain, it was the scariest movie ever made, but and I'm not like a huge proponent of like, this is the greatest movie ever made, or this is my favorite movie, or this, you know, because my favorite movie kind of fluctuates all the time, depending on where I am in my life, how much I've had to drink the night before. Like it all depends. There's a lot of factors that go into what is the best movie.
Yeah.
But this is on my like letterboxed wall of 4 movies that rule. This is one of them. And it's also, I don't know if we've officially coined the phrase chicken noodle soup movie, but this is a chicken noodle soup movie for me when I have the flu or when I'm sick or when I'm not feeling great, if I'm depressed or if I'm hungover or whatever. This is one of the handful of movies that I will put on to make myself feel nice because I've seen it so many times that my brain just immediately becomes relaxed.
Yeah.
Fall asleep on the couch and have a nice little relaxing afternoon while people get.
Which is wild because this movie is legitimately scary.
Yeah.
It is, but you know, like most things, you eventually the scary is what you're no longer scared by it. You're comforted by it because you've seen it so many times. Yeah. But it is scary, and like, you know, I was trying to watch it objectively, even though I've seen it a million times the other night, and be like, would this scare me now if I had never seen it before? And then you look at things, you have to like kind of take into consideration things that do scare you now, which isn't really a lot anymore. It's hard for a movie to legitimately freak me out. Yeah. But there are moments in this movie that I think if you'd never seen this before and didn't know what was coming, it would be jarring and frightening, especially like the chest bursting scene, which is still quite effective. The acting is wonderful from everybody involved, and like the special effects still kind of hold up. Maybe not the puppet itself, but like the act of it coming out of the chest is like pretty great. It still works.
It does.
Yeah, but you know, the Alien franchise as a whole, it's one of those things that I say that there is no bad Alien movie, not including Alien versus Predator 2. That's the only one that I'm like, that's a bad movie. And I even like kind of like Alien versus Predator 1. But in terms of a franchise, there is something to like about every single one of those movies. And I can watch all of those movies without rolling my eyes and being like, this is shit. Yeah. I know that there's a lot of people that disagree with me on that. I've had long conversations at like cocktail parties and stuff about Prometheus, sitting there being like, Prometheus is good. I don't give a fuck what you say, sir. Like yelling at a guy with a film degree. And you're just like, I don't give a shit how many pieces of paper to give you the right to tell me I'm wrong because I disagree with you. But yeah, that's my history with Alien. And I'm really excited to talk about this movie with you guys because it is one of those ones that I've watched so many times, including with Ridley Scott's audio commentary, including like Dave O'Bannon's commentary. And I've watched it like every version of this movie I've gone through at some point in my life. And there are moments in this movie that like the audio commentary of Ridley Scott is imprinted with a brand on my brain where I can't watch certain things without hearing Ridley Scott being like, right. Oh yeah, those are Christmas lights. Well, he's like shoveling peanuts in his mouth and drinking wine, and you're like, okay, I think Ridley's getting wasted during this commentary, and I'm here for it. Anyway, shall we move on to production talk?
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Quiet on set. Are we rolling? Okay, let's shoot this piece of shit. Sound. Speed. Action!
So, the movie Alien, made in 1979. I have maybe too much of this kind of stuff, so I think I'm maybe going to just save most of it for the actual discussion where I can point things out instead of just listing it all off to you now, because there's so many little interesting things about this movie and the stuff that it went through in order to get made, the weird headspace that Ridley Scott was in when he was making it, the fact that like John Carpenter's like writing partner for Dark Star is the person who wrote this fucking movie, like Dave O'Bannon. And it basically is in a way like a weird, soft retelling of Dark Star, just like instead of a beach ball, it's an actual frightening creature.
Yeah, like there's even, I think there's a moment at the very beginning of the movie where you can see a little thing pulsating in the background. I feel like that might have been a nod to Dark Star.
Maybe, I don't know for sure, but I know that like Dan O'Bannon, he, you know, obviously we've done Dark Star on this show. Trevor, are you familiar with Dark Star?
I'm not familiar. No.
It's like it was a student film that John Carpenter made. John Carpenter, obviously, also a very famous horror director.
Yeah.
And they made this movie that was a student project that was then turned into a feature-length film. And you know, we enjoyed talking about it, and I think we kind of enjoyed watching it. But it is a rough thing to get through, and it is very much. It does feel like a college sort of dissertation project being turned into a movie.
It feels like a comic book strip version of Alien almost, in a way. Like it feels very bare bones and kind of, it's like trying to be kind of a comedy, but it's got a lot of the trappings that this movie has. And then I think Alien Requiem,
it has almost everything that this movie has. It has a computer. It has a computer that they talk to that's kind of like doesn't give a shit about them. It has an alien on board that they have to chase around and try and find. It has, you know, their environment working against them. It's not a slasher movie at all. It's a comedy, but it has almost every sort of beat that Alien has. It's just like goofy. Yeah. And they're all dressed like Ghostbusters the whole time. Yeah. But yeah, this movie had a modest budget of debatably between $8 and $14 million. I always get confused how they don't know. I'm like, how do they lose $9 million somewhere in the mix here? But I think they had to do a lot of reshoots and stuff for this movie, and there's lots of little interesting things that they had to do on the fly, and had to basically create innovation. They had to innovate as they were going in order to create effects that you would think like, oh, that seems like such an obvious option for them, but then it's like, no, we just did that because we literally were trying a million other things and couldn't get it to work. The biggest example that I'm thinking of now is like, you know, when he's looking through the translucent egg and you can see it sort of jittering around inside, and he's like, there's movement inside, it's organic or something. And then like you're like, oh, it's moving creepily. They had all these different rigs set up to try and make it move, and it always looked like shit. And then they just got it's like a random stagehand to put his hands into it like a glove and just like move his fingers around. He's like, there we go.
That's it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's tons of that kind of stuff in this movie. You know, like when they're first landing on the planet, when they're coming down on that little elevator thing, and when they're walking away from the ship, if you know this, you'll never be able to unsee it. And I'm like worried to tell you guys, because I feel like, well, now I can't not know that, and it ruins the illusion for me. But those are little children that they've dressed up in smaller versions of the suits to give a grander sense of scale to the ship itself. So if you're looking very carefully, the one in the middle is like, like looks like a little girl in a costume.
So when I was watching it last night, I watched that scene a couple times because I was like, "Oh yeah, I heard that. I heard something about this scene. What was it?" So I rewound. I was like, "Oh yeah, there it is."
They are
wild.
children.
I need to go. I'm going to immediately after the show go and watch that part. There's a lot of miniatures used for this, right?
Yeah, but they're also like pretty big. Like they're bigatures, I guess is what you'd call them.
That's what I was going to ask, because they don't have that look when something is a miniature. It looks like they made like, you know, a big spaceship.
It's because it's a miniature, but it's also the size of like a pickup truck. You know, it's not
that big.
Small. Yeah, like or like, and some of them are like, you know, they're miniature, but then they cast children to make it look even bigger, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of camera trickery, and like, you know, the DP for this movie, Derek Van Lint, clearly killed it, but like also Ridley Scott himself is like always sort of he storyboards all his movies. He's always behind the camera. He's like a photographer in his own right, and a talented one at that. Like, you can say what you want about him when it comes to like injecting a lot of his own sort of personal ideals into stuff. I think that he does it objectively well and without it seeming preachy, but then at the same time, he knows how to fucking shoot something. Every Ridley Scott movie ever made looks beautiful. Like, there is not a bad looking Ridley Scott movie.
Yeah.
And I think it's because he knows where to draw the line when it comes to, especially in the digital realm, like he knows when to sort of cut off like what's real and what's fake, and where we can CGI something and not have it look tacky or bad. And the same can be said here. Like, you barely ever see the alien, and when they show it, sure, there are moments where it looks a little bit goofy, like when he turns around, it's like, meh! Like, hello.
Yeah.
Maybe have him do a different arm movement, but you know, like even that, it's still effective because everything up to that moment is frightening as hell.
Yeah.
But it still looks great. Anyway,
I think there's a lot to be
little tidbits as we talk, because there's so many that I could just sit here and list it forever, and it'll just be me saying stuff and you guys going, "Oh wow, that's interesting." Yeah.
I'll cover the things that I know, and what the major thing I want to mention is the H.R. Geiger of it all. The effect of making the xenomorph so like weirdly unsettling and almost sexual is cool, but also his design for inside the like that spaceship they go into on the planet. Everything's very like scaly and almost veiny. Like, I really like H.R. Geiger's like visual style that he uses. He actually won an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects for this movie, which is amazing. And then also, I'm just going to say it because it's a fact that everybody knows, but when they were filming the chestburster scene, they like didn't tell them that what was going to happen. So all of those reactions are like pretty real. And when you watch the movie, compared to a lot of the other acting in the movie, like the acting isn't bad or anything, like that's not what I'm getting at. But in that scene in particular, especially Lambert's reaction, her scream is so real when she's just splattered with blood. It's great. But that's one of those things that everybody knows. We don't really need to get into it. I just wanted to mention it.
And also, like, I always find that weird because I'm like, how would they not know? You know, did they not read the script? Did they keep the script from them? And then, you know, I'm like, maybe it's they didn't tell them that like that much blood was gonna like squirt out at them or something, you know. So they're like, whoa.
But there were elements of that, right? Like they would go and start shooting a scene and not really give them all of the information. And I think that there's a lot of that in this, and you can see it with their reactions being so genuine and so realistic. Like, that's one of the things I love about this movie.
The film industry in the 70s was insane, right? Like,
yeah, they were putting people in peril all the time.
Well, yeah, you hear those stories about like the director of The Exorcist like going up and like smacking people in the face before a take just to like get them all jacked up on adrenaline. Like, holy fact.
And then you compare that to like some of the anti-capitalist themes in the movie and the and the workers' rights themes in the movie itself.
I feel like there's lots of like horror stories behind the scenes of some of these movies where like, because it was filmed in England, like the there was all these differences in how things are filmed, shot there, and it's a Hollywood movie being shot in England, and like Ridley Scott had all these issues with the people being like, we have to have our tea break, Ridley. Yeah, you'll get your tea break.
One of the production things I noticed was when I was watching it, I was like, is Veronica Cartwright related to Nancy Cartwright? And the answer is no. So not related.
The answer is no, even though when you said that, I was like, oh, they do look kind of similar.
Yeah,
but
that's what I thought too. And then it's like, no, it's not.
But then me thinking that is just because they have a similar haircut.
Yeah.
Is that Lambert?
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, isn't it revealed in the sequel that Lambert is trans? On like a screen?
Sequel?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Honestly,
yeah.
That's I think that it's like just in the sort of the crew dossiers that he's going through or whatever, which is like surprisingly progressive for a movie shot in the 80s. And kind of cool.
I think that like the feminist element of this movie is pretty progressive for the time, where all the men are just like doing the wrong thing, and the voice of like we already kind of covered it, like Ripley trying to just be like, guys, we gotta take this one step at a time. And they're like, no, we're getting back in the ship. I'm the man. I'm the captain.
Yeah,
it's like, bro.
She's the one following procedure, and
that's also the other big one about this movie is that the character of Ripley was originally written for a man, and they were like, this is not interesting. And then they immediately, when they cast a woman, they're like, now it's interesting. Like, wait a minute, it's way more interesting when this is a woman than a man. And it is interesting to consider the fact that like if it was a man, it would be, I don't know, just sort of like too much and not enough at the same time. Whereas like also fucking Ridley is just the coolest goddamn character maybe to ever exist in all of cinema.
Yeah.
And Sigourney Weaver, she basically is like tough enough that she's kind of intimidating, right? You can tell that the other people are intimidated by her, especially the kind of pit crew guys down in the bottom, like the repair dudes.
Yeah.
But they kind of fuck with her, you know, when he purposely has all that steam going off when he could easily turn it off to have a conversation, but he's like forcing her to yell over it. And she's like, why don't you go fuck yourself? All that stuff is like beautiful, and you can tell that she's always thinking, right? Like there's never a moment where the wheels aren't turning and her eyes are on her face, and you're just like, this is she's turning in an amazing performance.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of like contrast that to Ian Holm's performance, where like you know that there are wheels turning, but it's like you can't ever truly understand what it is until the reveal, and you're like, oh, it's like it is like data going through a screen. That's why he's sort of like blankly staring at everything.
Right. Yeah. He had this weird look on his face so often, like what's going on there? Because even though I knew, it was like, it felt like I was watching it kind of anew yesterday, like just paying way more attention to Ash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's another interesting thing about the commentary. When you have Ridley Scott talking about it, is he's like, I wanted to, throughout the movie, have these little tiny sort of idiosyncrasies that were odd and strange and not something that you would expect a person to do. And when they're doing it, I just want you to be like, what the fuck is he doing? Yeah. And that's all he was going for. And like Ian Holm was throwing them in everywhere, like him just going like, and like, remember that part where he's like, when he like randomly jogs on the spot?
I was going to ask you about that. Was that supposed to be a hint that he is a robot because he goes so fast for a second?
But it's not even that he's going so fast. It's just a weird thing to do, right? Like he's by himself, so no one's around, and he's doing that. And it's like Ridley Scott's explanation, if I remember correctly, it's been years and years and years since I watched it. He's like, I was thinking, you know, like maybe he does something like that because his joints are getting all stiff and he's just trying to get like his weird robot joints to like loosen up or something. And he's like, and I wanted him to have a bunch of those throughout so that all of that weird shit that you're like, this is a weird character, at the end, you're like, oh, it's because he's full of milk. And he's always drinking milk. Every time you look at him, he's got a glass of milk.
Just very quickly, thank you for the $5 super chat, Travis Mitchell. Can we just talk about the bonus situation? Have a great stream, guys. Thank you, Travis. We appreciate you, buddy.
This guy knows every movie that we're discussing this month.
He truly does.
Yaphet Kotto's character is maybe outside Ridley my favorite character. I don't know. I do like Ash a lot too, but Ash is a horrible villain, so it's hard to like him. But you know, but that's another great thing about this movie, is that all the characters are likable. Like most of them are likable. Even Dallas in his shitty way, where you're like, Dallas, stop being a prick, but he's still kind of like likable amongst them until stuff starts to kind of hit the
as the captain. He goes, headlong into the danger, going into the vents, and those things keep closing off behind him, and he's stressed out, but he's got his flamethrower. It was funny. I was watching it, and the movie's kind of dark if you're in a light setting, and for some reason I thought he just had a torch in his hand. Like, why do you have a flashlight and a torch?
He's going into a dungeon.
Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. He's got the crazy.
We're going into the lair of the xenomorph. I have a ton more, but I'll bring them up as we talk about it. If anybody else has anything else they want to drop.
I was just going to mention that the sound design in this movie is great. A lot of silence and ambient sound. You covered the Ripley character change, and outside of that, I think that everything else kind of ties into the actual story of it all. So yeah, we can probably just get right into it now.
All right, let's go to the body of the episode.
The body of the episode.
Ho, ho, ho! Everybody back up, because here comes the body of the episode.
Evil Dead is an alien in a cabin. I mean, yeah, sort of, a little bit. But I mean, you could also say that any slasher movie is alien in X location, I guess. I mean, it depends. I think that Evil Dead is... The first movie is rough. I don't know if you guys... Anyway, this is not the Evil Dead. We should have Evil Dead on the in the Grimoire at some point.
Yeah.
This movie is about an alien. It's about a horrible, terrible alien. But this movie opens with one of the most iconic intros, I think, to any movie. The score to this movie is my favorite. I listen to it just for fun sometimes. Like, I'll put it on when I'm writing or when I'm drawing or when I'm doing stuff. The Alien soundtrack will pop on. And I love that it's been maintained carefully, because that sort of like boom, bing, that sort of trilly stuff that happens at the beginning with like the French horn that comes in afterwards, that has solidified itself as the alien theme and not necessarily just the theme of the Nostromo or something, right? It appears throughout all of them, and I love it so much. Even Prometheus has elements of it, not a lot of it, but it still exists in there. And then, Alien Resurrection anyway, all of it. It just, even the show is working with it as well. I haven't really checked out the score for Alien Earth in the way that I have for every other Alien movie that's come out, but I'm now sitting here being like, why haven't I done that? I should probably do that soon. But the music is haunting, but then it also has this sort of triumphantness to it, and you're not really sure what to feel. And it's also doing sort of the Star Trek Next Generation thing where the planets are drifting by slowly. And it's just giving you an idea of how far away these people are from the rest of humanity.
I wanted to ask you guys before we move on, which versions of this did you watch?
I just watched the one on Disney.
Yeah, Disney Plus.
Disney.
Yeah.
I downloaded an HD version of it. I don't know if it's the same one, but it looked stunning. Like the whole movie it popped so much compared to when I watched it previously. I think I watched it in like 720, because this version of it, everything was so crystal clear. And this opening sequence, when you first see the Nostromo, and that opening shot where you like see into like Mother kind of driving the ship and everything, like it looks so visually interesting, and all the details are so vivid. It's probably just like that on Disney, I would imagine. At this point.
It looks good on Disney. I do have the what's it called? The quadrilogy on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
and I've seen it a million times on disc, and it's always looked great. Like I don't think I've ever watched this movie ever and been like, this looks like a shitty 70s movie. It's always looked immaculate to me, because it's one of those movies that's so important to cinema history that they're like, every time they get a chance to upscale it in some way, they're like, we're gonna figure out how to do another transfer of this in the most beautiful way possible. One thing that I do appreciate is that they don't go back and try and like fix matte paintings or like they don't do a ton of stuff to it,
or
even
CGI characters, like
yeah, they throw in Derp shows up, he's like, hey, ooga booga, it's me, Derp. I'm the mascot of the Nostromo.
My favorite alien character, Derp. Yeah, see, I'm sure I watched this also on VHS as a kid, but I was too small and dumb to know what was going on. Like, my dad liked to show me these movies that are way too advanced, including RoboCop, and that's why I couldn't handle horror till much later in life. It's just like your brain gets loaded with things you're not really supposed to see or try to process at that age. But I do have this memory of Alien, like, looking of its era. So it always blows my mind when these movies look so cool upscaled.
Yeah. I remember seeing the. Sorry, go ahead. You got.
No, I was just thinking, like, how you think of any other movie based in space or TV show based in space from before that. Space is always just this exciting, like, we're gonna fight bad guys kind of thing. And it was just amazing, like, the way they, corporations have taken over space travel, like they take over everything else, and it's just dead. It's just where you work. There's nothing special about it in a way. Like, they're bored of it already, and they just woke up and it's
that Sean Connery.
They actually kind of hate
Outlander.
Outlander.
Yeah. That one felt very like they're not even miffed by the fact they're in space. They're just on a space station, and that one has never been retransferred, so it just looks like it looked like.
Which is unfortunate, because I like that movie, even though I think Jason, you hated it. You're like,
I didn't like it.
Boring shit I've ever watched. I'm like, it's about a space security guard on fucking Neptune's moons or whatever. What do you mean? Played by Sean Connery. He's hunting down space drugs. And he slaps a scientist in the face. He's like, I'll slap you all over this fucking laboratory. So yeah, we have the beautiful opening shot of space, and then it goes to the interiors of the ship, as you say, Jason. It looks so good, and it shows you every corner of importance of this spaceship. It also shows that, like, shit is moving around. I remember when I was younger being like, is the alien already on there? Like, what's going on? Because, like, stuff is getting knocked over. And then my brain, when I watched it the other day, I'm like, what is it, like a really powerful HVAC system? Or is the cat wandering around? Like, what is happening that stuff is moving? And we never get an answer to that. I think it was just meant to be creepy. I think that there's also a realm where it's completely possible that they filmed that with the idea that, like, we don't know what this is going to be yet, and we just want to creep people out. Or that was meant to be used at another point in the movie when the alien is moving around, but they realized they needed this kind of beautiful establishing shot of the helmet and, like, the data coming up on the screen. I don't know for sure, but it is weird that there's things being knocked over and moved around, like E.T. is stumbling around drunk on set, but then we get the amazing shot down the hallway, and I love the contrast between the gnarly, grungy, dirty, wet hallways and these, like, really sterile, beautiful, like, crystalline environments, like the laboratory and the room where they all sleep, like in their sort of, like, lotus leafed sleeping pods all in a circle. And
the mother,
just them opening slowly
room.
And everything. Yeah, the mother room looks great.
Kept calling Cerebro every time I saw it. I was like, this is like if Cerebro was in a 70s X-Men movie.
Yeah.
And this movie also does a great job of not really letting you know who the main character is going to be, because the way it's set up early, and, like, it's one of those things that's hard to scrub from your mind after seeing it a million times and having it exist for a good decade before I was even alive. I never really had that, like, the luxury of not knowing a ton about this movie and not seeing the whatever you would want to, the 90s equivalency of a meme, where, like, The Simpsons spoofed it, Spaceballs spoofed it. Like, you just know all these things because you saw it beforehand. But John Hurt is kind of set up to be the main character for like a lot of the scenes are focusing on him. The first person we see in a close-up when they get up out of the pod yawning and stretching is John Hurt. John Hurt is the one we're following through the spaceship. And he's in every single shot basically, and he's talking to everybody. I don't even really know what his role on the ship is. And I realized that after I watched it yesterday when I was thinking about it. I'm like, what is his role? Is he like some kind of, he's just, what is he? What's his role on the ship? John Hurt. We know what Dallas is. We know what the two engineers, Yaphet, Kotto, and what's his name?
Parker?
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. We know what all these, we know what most of the people are there for. We know what Ash is. He's the science officer. And Ripley is basically second in command to Dallas, right? She's sort of like the first mate. But what is John Hurt? I assume he's sort of like the jack of all trades. Anyway, I don't know, but I'm sure I could find out right now if I Googled it. But in terms of speculation, I think he's meant to be us for a little while until he gets impregnated in his mouth.
He's an executive.
What do you guys think?
He's an executive officer.
Okay. An executive officer. What
he's
the fuck did that mean?
He's second in command.
Oh.
Right.
What is Ripley then? Third? Security?
Maybe, yeah, because I mean, she says when Dallas is off the ship, she's warrant officer? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, when I guess when Dallas is off the ship, if John Hurt was on the ship, he would be in control. But because both of them are off the ship, Ripley's in charge. She's like basically the ship is mine until he's back. But yeah, they realize fairly quickly that they've been awoken well before they were meant to. You know, we get that nice, beautiful shot of them all sitting around the kitchen table or whatever eating, and you know, we get all this sort of like nasty looking dried raisins and I don't know, it looks like stale Chinese food, and like it's very weird, right? Whatever they're eating, it's like a mixture of all food to ever exist.
It seems like their snacks are just cereal, but they're supposed to be like potato chips kind of, but they come in these like glass or plastic cylinders. The food is crazy in this movie. It feels very futuristic.
Yeah. I do also love that in the universe of Alien, you know, they establish this in these movies, and then Prometheus shows what like the really expensive ships shows like or look like. But then within the Alien universe, this type of ship still exists. It's still, you know, part of the world. Like the big tube monitors and all of this stuff is still there. Yeah. They just have the Prometheus stuff piled on top of it, and that's fine. They've created this sort of retrofuturism that like we're okay with when we watch a thing like Alien Earth, and it's just like doubling down on all these weird big like clicky buttons, like when you press a button it's not like it's not a glass screen, you know.
Yeah,
like when she's typing but she's not typing, she's still one fingering it, like
I mean that's just a poor typer.
Yeah,
that's not a technology, that's a human error.
It reminded me a little bit of like Star Wars, how they kept that motif going through even though there's been new movies made. But then when you look at something like Andor, it's like they went back in time 10 years technology wise from like what Star Wars is. So yeah, the retrofuturism I think is the best way to put that.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it is. Yeah. That's like, it's literal definition. And I love it though. Like every time you see it, it's just like, it's one of the chicken noodle soup aspects of these types of movies where it's like, it's trying to, it's not embarrassed to be like, this is what the future is going to be like. And then, you know, we realize that the future, like not even within 15 years, it's like, oh, we have flat screen televisions now. And they're like, flat? What the hell? Who could have predicted that? But yes, we get that nice, really sort of like cathartic breakfast sequence where they're all just chatting. It feels very much like something from like a Steven Spielberg movie, like the family moments where there's people that are all talking at once, and you never really you can kind of have to focus on different people to really understand what they're saying, which is one of the reasons that this movie is so wonderful to watch over and over again, is you can actually just focus on one person and listen to what they're saying, and you're like, oh, these are all unique conversations that are being had between like a bunch of people talking at once. And it's cool.
It's so wild to see them smoking too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
So that's
smoking
another
is
thing
getting-
that the alien universe they didn't do away with that either. There's still people smoking in the alien worlds, and it's like
Yeah.
it's fine. They're like, you know what? We evolved as a race within the alien universe, but we didn't stop smoking. People still doing it.
And good for them.
Yeah, I mean, mother didn't raise a quitter. That's what Ash says to the computer. But we also get a moment between Lambert, John Hurt, and Dallas, and they all realize like, oh, we're way off course. I assume Lambert is the navigator because she's the one who's like figuring out. It's like, this is where we're supposed to be. This is where we are. We're not only are we not like we've been woken up early, but not only are we not where we should be when we were woken up early, we're like off course from that. So they realize like it's going to take us way longer to get home, but also it's taken us like months in this other direction. And that's when they realize like, well, why? And it's like, well, we found a signal of unknown origin and we don't know what it is. And they're trying to decipher what it is. And Ash says like, I don't know. I have no fucking clue what it is.
He knows.
He knows. Yeah.
He knows this ship was sent out to get freight, but also look for some sort of beacon, as it turns out. And this beacon.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's just that the beacon. He understands what the beacon is. And spoiler alert for the conversation that we're having about this movie. Ripley figures out later that it's a warning. It's not a distress beacon. It's
Right.
not a beacon of unknown origin. She realizes by like looking at this sort of like degradation rate of it and the way it repeats and stuff is like, this is not an SOS. This is a get the fuck out of here. Like, do not come here. And Ash definitely knew that. He's a supercomputer man. Like he probably recognized that right away. Which again is like repeat viewings of this movie is they're rewarding because knowing that going in, you can look at Ash and be like, does he know? And he's so good at not giving away anything.
Time about this landing specifically. He plays it off very much like, I don't know. Maybe we should go look at it and see what's down there. And they're like, why are you being like that, man? And we think he's a human at this point in the movie, which is an interesting dynamic.
Yeah. I mean, I thought he was a human, right? It is also one of those things where like I wish I could fucking neuralize myself like Men in Black, like my brain sometimes, because I'm like, I just want to know if would I be able to pick up on anything beforehand, not knowing about anything in the alien universe. And it's like, alas, I can't. I'm cursed with knowledge. Fucking cursed. I wanted to ask you guys, like, because it's revealed here that these guys are basically just tow truck drivers, right? Like it's like a tow team that have been sent to get this big giant thing that's floating through space. It almost looks like a castle or something, right? That they're pulling, like a space castle. And it's told to us that it's an ore refinery of some kind. So it's probably full of like a lot of valuable metals. And Yaphet Kotto's character is really obsessed with like the shares. He's like, so I'm thinking, like now that we have to go off course, like we're gonna get more money for this, right? And it's like, well, we all talk about it. Where would your mind be at if you were just like hired to do a job to tow this thing back, and you were on your way back and you were woken up early? Like, what would your immediate reaction be, do you think?
I don't know. Like, I'm the worst before I've had my coffee. Like classic that guy. So it really depends. I would probably be pretty annoyed. And I hate being woken up early. So that just all sounds awful. And then you want me to like maybe save some people or like go off course to follow some sort of SOS? No, thank you.
Right. So you're right on the same page as Yaphet Kotto.
Yeah,
I'm with that too. I'm exactly the same. I don't like to be woken up. Finding out that it's 10 more months home and you're in the middle of this, and then things just start going wrong almost immediately, almost the second that they take.
Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the conversation they have at the table, right? Like,
okay, yeah. Then I agree with Trevor. Like, it's just it's finding out that we're halfway home. And now we got to go do this whatever mission.
Yeah.
And we don't know what's down there. it's that
Man,
doesn't work
it's like
for
you
me.
guys have never played a video game before. It's like you're getting a side quest, and both of you guys are like, "Fuck the side quest."
I would be
gotta
talked
finish
into it. Like I would just, I
Yeah.
would be the guy who's saying, no, I don't want to do this. But at the end of the day, if everybody's like, this is the right thing to do, I'd be like, yeah, okay.
No, I'm like Parker though. I'm like, so I get more money now.
Yeah.
So I would treat it
Right.
like a side quest.
Yeah.
Where are my shares?
You're not
gonna look
picking
like
the good
after this?
option or the evil option. You're
Yeah.
picking the like, I'll do it,
Yeah.
but do I get paid more, please?
The paid more option. Yeah.
I think that it would depend. It would depend on whether or not like I've been on a bunch of these before, and like, does this happen every time where it's like, oh, the company's asking us to go to a derelict planet and and look at a distress beacon. If that happens all the time and I've been like, not paid for it, or have been like asked to like, go above and beyond by the company and never been rewarded, then I'd probably be like, fuck now. But if I'm like, what do you mean a signal of unknown origin? Hell fucking yeah, I want to check that out. What does that mean? What if there's space gold or something, which is just regular gold? Which also a lot of gold in this movie. I don't know if you noticed when they're in that down in the bottom of the ship, everything's gold plated.
Oh yeah.
It's an excellent conductor, an excellent reflector of solar energy. It's used for a lot of shit in space. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I would probably be, depending on the situation, I'd be psyched because I'd be like, we've been sleeping for 9 months, guys. Let's stretch our legs and go down onto an alien world. But then I would probably be the guy that gets infected by the alien, just based on my answer here.
Yeah. You'd be poking around the eggs. And
Yeah. But I mean, I guess this brings us into the conversation that they're having, which is Dallas reveals this information to everybody, and there are the different voices of reason and the voices of dissent and the voices of I guess like loyalty to the company, right? Because Ash is like, according to the contract that you all signed, we have to go, or else you will. What is it? It's a forfeiture of all shares.
Yeah.
So it's like basically, if you encounter one of these signals and you ignore it, every penny that you would have got on this journey is now forfeit going back to the company.
Yeah. So it's
And that's what
read the terms and conditions. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Did you read your contract?
Yeah.
And Dallas doesn't. He seems put out by it too, where he's like, "Fuck!" Like,
Yeah.
none of us are gonna get paid unless we go check this thing out.
Yeah.
And so that's when they all basically agree. I don't think it's a scenario where they all have to agree in order to do it. It's ultimately up to Dallas, but he's like a responsible leader is bringing it to everybody to be like, here's what's going on. We have been woken up by Mother, the person that drives the ship when we're all sleeping, because we have to go look at this thing. We don't really have a choice. And everyone's like, well, are we gonna get paid or what? And Carter does not drop that at all for like at least another 30 minutes of the movie. Every time you talk to him, he's like, are we getting paid, Ripley, or what? And she's like, don't worry, Carter, you're gonna get exactly what's coming to you. Or is it Parker? Am I saying it?
Parker. Yeah.
Parker. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. He's the best.
He is. Jason, remember when we were doing Dream Warriors and you're like, am I supposed to know who Yaphet Kotto is? And I'm like, well, I mean, yes, because he's an alien. This is the movie that made me familiar with Yaphet Kotto's game as an actor. I'm like, this guy just goddamn rules.
I just put that together. This movie has a bunch of those kinds of actors too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like they went on to have very, very great careers. All of them. John Hurt and Tom
Harry Dean
Skerritt.
Stanton.
Harry Dean Stanton from
He was a fucking David Lynch regular.
Yeah. And I watched that.
Wasn't he in the Marvel? Wasn't he in the Avengers or whatever? Or like, yeah,
he was in
Thor.
something.
Oh, he's the guy when Bruce Banner drops from space. He's like, you know where your parents are? Did you find your parents?
I also recently watched that TV show that he was on with the Mormon one. What was that called?
The Sister Wives one.
Yeah.
Big Love.
Big Love. I watched Big Love through, and he's so menacing on that show. He's like kind of like the evil. He's got like 7 wives or whatever, and he's always trying to fuck with the main character guy. And one of the main character's wives is his daughter. That show was great. Roman Grant is this. Bill Paxton is that, and Chloe Sevigny.
But
Great
I mean,
show.
like you say, like every single person. It's not a large cast, right? It's pretty tiny, and every person in this movie has done very impactful things for me specifically. I mean, maybe not to everybody, but like, isn't Veronica?
Bill Paxton's in the next Alien movie too.
Yeah,
He is. And every James Cameron movie ever made until his unfortunate demise. So they decide they're going to go, and we get some very sort of pensive landing sequences, which I can definitely see a younger generation of film viewer not enjoying a lot of this kind of stuff. Like, there's a pretty long landing sequence and there's a pretty long takeoff sequence.
Yeah,
but it's it is good and it is tense, and like all of that is there for a specific reason, and it's to pace out the tension of the movie. It's there for a reason, and
Ripley,
I like it. I like it a lot.
Ripley, like, just kind of making her way through the ship toward the end of the movie is so tense. If your dopamine receptors aren't completely fried by TikTok. And mine are, but I can still like get into that headspace for this movie specifically because it's one of the most tense movies I think in existence for that kind of thing. Yes. But I could see why a Gen Z watches this and they're like, this is slow and boring.
Like, I just kept trying to swipe. Time.
I kept picking up my phone to comment on I'm like, wait, oh shit, I can't comment on that. Which has actually happened to me before, which is embarrassing and shows the level of brain rot that I deal with on a daily basis.
Ever try to scroll up on a magazine article or a newspaper?
I mean, I know we're joking around, but I have literally picked up my phone while watching a movie to be like, I wonder what the comments have to say about this. And I'm like, oh wait, that's not what's happening right now, Steven. Shush. Yeah, what are you doing? But yeah, I mean, like, I don't blame people because a lot of movies, like, even look at something like Prometheus, right? The landing sequence in Prometheus is basically the same as the landing sequence in this, but it is a lot more intensive when it comes to what's hitting you visually. Everything that's tense about it is through the performances of the actors, right? Like, there's alarms going off, there's shaking in a cockpit, and there's a lot of people who look like they're really scared. And like, that's the point. It's the point of cinema. Yeah. And I kind of like it better that way because you don't know what's imposing the ship. It's like they're going through this misty hellstorm and you can't see anything, and you just know that they're scared. And they make it, but they don't make it unscathed. Like, they fuck up their ship in the process.
It's pure chaos too, this whole sequence.
Yeah. But it also shows that we get the first sort of separating sequence from what is basically their tow truck and the huge thing that they're towing, right? Like, it's one thing that I feel like a lot of people don't connect in their mind is like that thing flying through space. They don't really go in there. Like, they never go in there. There's a world in which they could go inside that and it would be like a big space station, right? Like, they could be running around inside that thing. I don't know what it looks like in there, or maybe they're just big silos full of ore. I don't know. The movie doesn't really take the time to explain it to you because it doesn't fucking matter.
And that's why I hate this movie.
1 star. But they land on the ship. The repair guys are freaking out, Parker and Brett, and they're like, oh god, we blew out a bunch of bullshit in the lower levels and it's gonna take us time to repair it. But they have this like really charming back and forth between the two of them where it's like, it's going to take us 17 hours to repair this. And he's like, it's going to take 25 hours. Like, okay. Yeah. And then, Harry Dean Stanton's like, yep. Yep. And like, this is all very good character building between two men lying and, there's very little being said, but you understand who they are as people, which is like, the blue collar attitude. If it's going to take you 15, quote them for 20 and then take 25 or whatever, right? Like, and they decide who's going to go. There's another tense smoking sequence where they're like, well, they didn't get close enough to the thing. It's going to take time to repair the ship, but they also need to go investigate the beacon. And John Hurt's character is like, so in walking distance, then we can go there, on foot. And everyone kind of looks at him like, No. Like, are you fucking crazy? And he's like, we can do it.
You go onto
And
a
they're like,
hostile planet where there's just like a forever storm happening and it's a deep freeze.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when Ian Holm's going through like the list of all the data, and he's like, "Well, it looks like every poisonous gas to ever exist is on the planet." And, yeah, the temperature outside is well below freezing. Yeah, it's basically like a planet you don't want to land on or go outside in.
Yeah, or you wouldn't want to live there instead of colony. Sure.
Exactly. It's more of a summer home planet, you know.
Yeah.
You don't live there in the winter time. But they decide that they're going to take Lambert, Kane, and Dallas is going to go because Dallas is the captain. He has to go. He doesn't have to go. He could order anyone to, but he's a good captain. You know, he's like, obviously, I'm going to go. Kane is obviously the main character of the movie. You know, he's in every sequence so far. He's the first guy we saw wake up. This is our main guy. And then Lambert is the navigator, so she has to go.
All we know about Ripley to this point is that they treat Ripley like shit, and they are constantly clowning her behind her back.
Mm-hmm. I think it's because she is supposed to be too by the book, right? Like she's too much of a stickler, right? Where it's like she's probably the kind of person that when they're eating at breakfast, she's like, "You didn't pay for those rations. You can't eat those." You know, because they probably have to pay for all their food. Like, I guarantee you, this is the kind of penny pinching company that they're like, you know, everything you eat is going to be, you know, deducted from some sort of internal budget later, and you're going to be charged for it.
Yeah. She's like, "Teacher, didn't we have homework last night? Can we check our homework?" Or
well, it's like too in a lot of horror movies, the skeptic is always the one that's going to be like proven wrong. Like, oh, you shouldn't have been the skeptic. In a lot of sci-fi movies too, it's the person who's too by the book that, you know, they're an idiot. Like the audience is like already primed to not like that person. So the fact that she was right every single time. Absolutely.
They may have needed to have somebody less likable. I feel like Sigourney Weaver is just like super likable, and it never played like that to me. That
I don't know though. I feel like that might be your own sort of internal biases based on what you know of her, because she wasn't a huge name at this point in time, and like she is very aggro, like to everyone around her for the majority of this movie. And I could easily see a realm in which like people are like, this fucking character is like, she's the bitch on the ship. Like nobody likes her. She's being too prickly to everybody. But I fucking love it because especially when she's like, why don't you fuck off, Parker? Like as she's walking away, like through the theme, I'm like, this is fucking cool. Like she's the coolest character. And then she immediately goes back up, sits down, and she's clearly like, fuck those guys, and puts her cool Converse white sneakers up on a computer screen and is just like sitting there. I'm like, this movie is doing something to me. I like this. I like this lady. She's cool.
I'm going to be right back. You guys keep talking, but I got to do needy cat.
Okay, sure.
How do I?
So we choose our ground team or away team, I guess is what you would call it, and Ripley's left in charge. But Ripley's not the one observing, which is kind of interesting too, because she is going over the distress beacon, because she was like, Ash, were you able to, you know, determine what that beacon was? And Ash was like, no, I did not. I couldn't figure it out. Sorry. And she's like, do you mind if I take a crack at it? And he's like, please do. Which is like, when you know he's a robot and you're watching it, you're like, he definitely already knows what it is.
He definitely knows. But if you don't know.
Yeah, but if you don't know, it just seems like he's like, absolutely, like I need someone else to put a couple eyeballs on it. But I think what he's actually doing is distracting her from what's going on so that he can focus on the ground team, because he doesn't want anybody else to fuck around with it, right? Where he's like, we need to send these people out, and if she's distracted, all the better for what my purposes are, which is investigate this signal at all costs, and anything found needs to come back and be studied. And it's so cool, and it kind of just like lays this groundwork for all of the Alien franchise and what it is tonally forever, right?
That's what I was going to say, because in Alien 3 we find out that like the guy who created these these robots is
Weyland.
still around. Yeah, Weyland himself made these robots in his own design, and that goes even deeper when you go through Prometheus. And
technically, that guy who shows up is Lance Hedrickson. When he shows up at the end, he's a descendant of
Right.
Weyland. He's not Weyland. I mean, he is Weyland, but he's not the Weyland who, like, you know, started it all. Oh, we got to bring him back. Welcome back.
I'm back.
Yeah, we were just basically talking about how Ash basically saying, like, yeah, please try and figure out what that was. You know, what the signal was
Right.
Our hypothesis here is that he was pretending to be overjoyed that she's willing to take a look at it because he wants her to be distracted so that he can be the one to focus on the away team.
Yeah.
Right? Which I think must be true because he, like we all said before, he definitely knew immediately that this is not a distress signal. This is a repellent. This is a get the heck out of here signal. But we were also talking about how interesting and cool it is that this sort of moment is where almost entirely the idea of Weyland-Yutani as a company and what the groundwork is beyond this movie exists as forever, as this sort of like company that will sacrifice 1 million human beings in order to just like continue studying and making more money, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. And it forms an identity for Weyland-Yutani, like in general, which is another thing that I really love about the fucking show is that it's like, this is telling the tale of these corporations and like showing like the shitty people behind them.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And just like centuries of unchecked corporations being allowed to do whatever the hell they want. And
it must have been crazy in 1979 to see a movie like this and sort of your idea of what a corporation is, it's shaken a little bit because I don't know if people are really recognizing yet in the 70s how much oversight corporations actually have. It kind of goes back to the 60s and the late 50s, but right at the turn of the 70s to the 80s, it's like people are starting to feel the effects of something new and big is coming, but also it feels like these corporations are starting to merge and monopolize with one another. And just this must have been so revolutionary for the people that were in the know at the time. It must have been a big moment.
Oh yeah.
And like this movie also had the opportunity to have the company man, right? Like the guy who's like, the company's going to take care of us. It's like everything that the company does is for like, you know, don't worry. Like the company wouldn't let us die. They could have had that character. Doesn't exist. The character that is Ash, who's like, oh, the company doesn't give a shit about you.
We get it a decade later with Paul Reiser's character, who is just literally the company man who fucks everything up. But at this point, it is literally the robot that was sent to sort of be their babysitter, is what it feels like after you finish the movie.
But even Paul Reiser's character, who is like, he doesn't believe any of what he's saying. He's just wants the paycheck, right? Like he's like, the company's going to take care of you. It's like, no. He's like, I don't give a fuck about you. I only care about what the company wants, is because like that's what they told me to. Yeah. So we have our 3 away team members go off to the signal, and they have to go through the glass lightning storm or whatever the fuck is going on out there.
When they first go into the cave and the storm sort of subsides, they did this really interesting thing with the camera where it almost went into documentary style shaky cam. It's used a lot now, and I think it's one of the only times it's actually used in this movie, but the tension that is built off of that was so cool.
It felt like they just switched into a found footage horror movie, and it was so creepy. What I wrote down one of the lines because I was like, oh, that was the creepiest thing ever. When he says we must go on during that, just the way that's said,
we must go on.
Chills.
A lot of John Hurt's lines throughout this entire exploratory escapade it's all very unsettling because it is almost like a person talking into a recorder being like, we're about to enter, it's hot as fucking hell in here. You know, like he's stating everything for the record. And it's spooky.
We see the helmet cam shots too in all of this, which is like that must have been a kind of a new idea for the time.
How do you feel about
POV.
The suit design? I think it's cool, but like
I think it's cool.
It's a little dated and a little weird and a little clunky, but like you see the stuff in Prometheus, which is like the complete opposite it's like all sleek and sexy looking and like obviously very expensive. But these are truck drivers. They're going to be wearing their blinkers. You know, this is a truck driver.
These weird spacesuits have almost like a tactile look to them. And I was like, how did they? There was no 3D printers to like make this gear at the time. So, I mean, in universe, that's probably how they were made. But they probably had to make these special plastic presses to make these suits because they didn't look like a regular spacesuit. It looked like the bottom part was just hockey gear, which it probably was. Yeah. But the helmets, the helmets themselves had this like unique, almost. I don't know. I can't explain it, but it looked like a pattern or something on it.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like flat.
Yeah. Well, there's one right behind your head, so if you just turn around, you can see it.
It's got an alien on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I love about them is that they have these little tufts of moisture, like they like pop out of the like as they're walking, and I'm like, I guess that's just like bad air. I don't know. Like it doesn't really mix it because I think it would probably try and recycle as much air as possible in your suit. But
yeah.
But having these little tufts of moisture like shoot out the top is really fucking cool. I know that like they had a lot of issues when they were filming with fogging up and they couldn't figure out ways to do it. And like that was literally like one of the things that they were like, we have to like have air being pulled out. Like the actual breath is like fogging everything up so much. And we have this like system to pull air out, but also fans inside to make sure that everything didn't. But you can like, there's a couple of shots where the light hits it right, and you can just see like a bunch of like like fingerprint marks of them wiping down the inside of the helmet. But yeah, Jason, you're right. A lot of the gear is just like they went to an athletic store and were like, these gloves look fine.
Those gloves.
But I mean, if you look at real life astronaut costumes, like a lot of it does just look like hockey gear as well.
Yeah.
That's of course what NASA calls them, costumes.
They call them costumes, yeah.
Yeah. All right, we've got to get into our exo costumes. But I think that like one of the things, you know, to think about is like the gear from Prometheus is like a scientific expedition that has been bankrolled beyond belief. So the most expensive team ever put together. They have the top end gear. Yeah. Everything is meant to be, you know, easy and comfortable to move in. These people are wearing hockey pads because they're bumping around in space being like, oh, like it's just functional, right? Like it just has to be, they have to be able to clunk around in it. Yeah. But anyway, they arrive at the big donut ship that I fucking love. It's one of those things that when I was a kid, I was like, this ship doesn't make any sense to me in my brain. But then, you know, the more you think about it, you're like, it's an alien ship. Why would it make sense to your stupid human brain? It's probably capable of doing things that your pink ass can't even understand.
Well, yeah, even the alien inside like makes no sense because it's not like a giant, but it's way bigger than a humanoid is. That always struck me.
It's an engineer, Jason.
Yeah, the engineers strike me as bizarre. They're very interesting looking to me.
But that's another thing for that Prometheus sort of like ruined for some people, but also expanded for other people who liked it. Is like that's also a spacesuit that like goes around him, right? Like it's almost like he's being put in a pod to control it. It's fucking cool.
Yeah.
But also the reveal of that, wonderful. You know, when they climb up and you realize how small they are compared to this thing.
I feel like part of the problem with the reaction to Prometheus is when it came out, those like YouTube channels like CinemaSins and other like really like we're gonna pick apart movies and we're not gonna watch movies because we like them. We're gonna watch them to point out everything that's wrong with them. That was so popular at the time too that I think that just ruined it for so many people. Where it's like, can I just enjoy a thing? Like,
I do enjoy CinemaSins, but I do also think that it's done irreparable damage to people's brains when it comes to being able to appreciate certain types of movies.
Yeah, it's a bit bad faith.
Well, it's because it's a comedy channel. They're doing it for fun.
Yeah,
it's not meant to be a real review of a movie. Like I guarantee you, a lot of the trailers they do, they're like CinemaSins. It's meant to be funny. They'll do like The Dark Knight and like fuck The Dark Knight, and like a lot of people put Dark Knight as their best movie ever made, right? Like it's meant to be funny.
Yeah. But like media literacy is so low right now that a lot of people are like, oh yeah, this makes me hate movies. So I mean, they're the wrong ones, but yeah.
There's like a guy that I follow on TikTok. I cannot remember his name, but he's.
Is it Trevor Poelman?
I think I do follow you on.
Oh, really?
TikTok, actually. Yeah. I when I saw you today, I was like, I think I follow this guy on TikTok.
Oh, nice.
But he's like this Australian Star Wars content creator, and he was talking about the new Grogu Mandalorian trailer, and like people being like, if you slow down the trailer, you can see that the guy falls backwards before the bolt hits him or something, right? And it's like he's like, well, I'm not going to be watching the movie in slow motion, so I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's it, right? Like that's it. Like if you're gonna watch a trailer and pull every single tiny little thing apart, or if you're gonna watch the fight between Rey and Kylo Ren in the throne room in The Last Jedi, where like, you know, like he's waiting to attack the other. It's like, well, it's supposed to look cool. It's not supposed to be pulled apart. Yeah, you're not supposed to slow it down to super slow motion to see who's attacking first.
Yeah, it's not a dumb one where it was like they showed like one of the fights, like the Dooku and Anakin and Obi-Wan fight from episode 2, and how crazy and bombastic it is, and then how Rey and Ben Kenobi or Ben Solo fighting. It's like she's meant to be bad because she's not a trained Jedi, so she's going to be a little bit bad at lightsaber fighting. But people like to compare these things like they're the informing why it's bad without recognizing the fact that J.J. Abrams put that stuff in there for it to be more interesting.
But I mean, even beyond that, it's like when people are pulling apart choreography at a slowed down rate, it's like, well, what do you fucking expect? You can do that to anything. You can do that to literally anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we all understand the point here. And also Return of the Jedi has the biggest fucking failed kick of all time, where Luke is kicking and it's like he's like a foot away from the guy. They're just like, leave it in. Who gives a shit?
The Force.
Yeah, it's the Force kick.
Did it.
This is the last one. They won't make any more of these.
So yeah, we revealed the engineer. It's cool as fuck. They called it the space jockey back in because he was just in this weird thing. You don't even know what it is. Like it almost looks like a gun or something, right? You're like, what is this thing that this guy's in? They don't care. Even the people in the movie, like they look shocked by it, but they don't look like we've just found an alien species. They're like, well, holy shit. And then they're more interested in the fact it's like looks like something blasted out of the inside of its chest over here.
Yeah,
which is frightening.
Which is great. Yeah, I love.
As we say, they're doing the like this is the voice of Dr. Brendan Fraser and ba 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 boom ba 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 bee boo. Something came out of this thing's chest over here.
Yeah.
It's great. I do also like the moment when they first land down out of the ship and like Ash is kind of like, hey, like he's like being nice and funny and like waving to them and smiling and shit. And it's like, oh, this guy's programmed to mimic human behavior in a way. Or is he actually feeling stuff? I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
And then you
excited about the alien, like, oh, there
is he actually excited? Yeah. And like you see later that he does have these weird sort of emotional facial moments, right? Whereas like you're like, what is he thinking or feeling? Like he's trying to do weird shit when he's trying to shove the fucking magazine in her throat. You're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I have the commentary of Ridley in my head as well as my own sort of like theories on it, but we'll talk about it when we get there. I think that he was legitimately excited. Like he felt it and like he was like mimicking things that humans do, but he was also still kind of like having his own personality. Because as we go through these movies, you see that they're capable of it, right? Like Bishop is capable of caring, and like he's like, I'm not programmed to ever harm a human or whatever. But then he's also like, I love you, Ripley. at the end.
But there's the one in Requiem that's like broken a little bit, and he's got like some weird idiosyncrasies too. So these robots are easily like messed up, and then they try to emulate what they think humans are like.
Yeah,
it's
it's such a good sort of like it's a good storytelling device, because it's unpredictable, it's weird, it's strange, but it's also dangerous.
Oh man, that's legit. I don't know how we have a comment of the night, but that's the funniest thing I've ever read in my life.
You're like he's not even making contact with the incisors.
Yeah.
Oh, this movie's a piece of
Bush
shit. Yeah,
Holy shit!
we're like brush
Oh my
league.
god! Thank you, the human Tommy.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
Um,
Oh my god, I'm sweaty.
Anyway, I think we can all agree that the synthetic beings in the alien universe is like a lot of the time they are the most interesting factor. Like even beyond the alien, the xenomorph. Like the xenomorph is obviously the sort of drive of all these stories, but the interesting thing is like the synthetic creatures.
Have you seen Badland, Predator Badland?
I did, yeah.
I haven't watched that yet.
So
It's like I lied that Alien Earth was the only Weyland-Yutani movie I haven't seen, but I'm excited for it.
I was gonna ask you, and I was like, I'm not gonna say it, but it's good. Yeah, it is good.
I liked it a lot. Yeah,
And it does. Again, it has a synth character. It almost feels like an Alien versus Predator movie in a bigger way than most of the Alien versus Predator movies, because in the Alien versus Predator movies, there's never a synthetic person, but in this movie, there is, and they're a major character.
yeah.
And she's chopped in half and strapped to a young predator the whole movie, right?
Mhm.
Most of it, yeah. There's a amazing sequence where her legs show up and start fighting. It's great. It's great. So yeah, they move past the space jockey. I can totally relate to having real emotions but need to mimic others to express it. As an autist, I agree with you, fellow.
Yeah, I snuck it in. I don't think you guys heard me say it, but the human Tommy heard me say it, and I didn't mean it as a slight. I meant it as a masking.
No,
I meant it as a legitimate thing with autistic people who are masking all the time, and it's strain on the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you go to D&D and then you come home and you're like, I have to now lay immobilized on the couch and stare at the ceiling for a while. That doesn't happen to me. Don't accuse me of that.
I've seen him.
So they move into I guess it's just the egg chamber. But, this is another thing is like, there are tons of novels and comic books and all sorts of explanations to this, what happened on this ship, right? Like none of it is canonically real or whatever you want to consider it. But like, even like Prometheus and things like that, like they're not connected, they're different, but it's the same in a different way. But that doesn't matter here because it's a mystery, right? Like this is the where they introduced all this shit, and it's crazy that there's just this huge, massive part of the donut ship that just is full of eggs. And John Hurt is like, it's like the bloody tropics down here, and he's like, and then he goes through and he's like, there's some sort of organic masses down here, like eggs or something, and we're all like, oh, you're damn right, they're eggs. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
or something.
Friend of the show, Tim Covey, messaged me and he was like, I'm surprised you didn't do this movie next month because of Easter and all the eggs. And
Oh yes.
had a good laugh about that. This bay that they're in looks like it might be where ships flew out of at one point or something, or some sort of, I don't know. It's a weird hallway. It's very this whole ship is very H.R. Geiger themed too. It's got all the like weird veiny walls and stuff. So I really like the
H.R. Geiger was like,
Yes, the xenomorph is like a penis, and the ship is like a vagina.
pretty sure that's how he talks.
Yeah. It's a weird German guy.
Was that the designer? Like the guy?
Yeah.
H.R. Geiger, yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's the art
He did all
director.
the art design for everything.
You can see elements of it in the Nostromo too. It's in there. It's just a little bit more. It looks more like a spaceship, but there are times where I'm like, that influence is all over this. Just the way that it's. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain how weird
it's
regular.
It's all very organic, and everything is based
Yeah.
off like vaginal and penile, sort of like everything is sexual organs.
Yeah.
Like, and like it's effective because it makes everything really unsettling and like where it's like
It's meant to arouse you, but also make you feel gross in your tummy.
I remember in art class, and I think it was in grade 12, we had to do a presentation on our favorite artist, and somebody did him. And then I had to go up and do Norman Rockwell.
You're like, so this is the picture of the little girl buying ice cream from the nice man.
Yeah. I'm like, oh man, I am not as cool.
And the
I am,
kid
like,
before
the
he was
least
like,
cool.
H.R. Giger lived through most of the world wars.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god. So we've got John Hurt, and he's doing his documentary thing as he's walking through. I do think this is one of the moments where he's like, there's some sort of bioluminescent laser beam or some shit when it activates when you like it reacts when you put your hand through it, and it's like, which is a weird thing that like they've never ever explained it in the movies. They probably have explained it in a novel or a comic in some way, but there's also people who like have 45-minute breakdown videos theorizing on what it is. But what everybody kind of agrees on is that the eggs give off this energy field that creates this beam of light, which was clearly just there to be like a cool way to showcase this room,
to show that it's transparent and
but also to have like an interesting light source, because like otherwise it would be kind of just like bland, black and boring, right? Like everything.
Well, shouldn't this room be pitch black, or just with the ambient light of
you know what, Jason, the light is coming from the same place that the music is coming from, all right? So like
our imaginations.
Yeah. But it's also it is one of those things where it's like, yeah, the room should be completely pitch black, but like obviously that wouldn't be interesting for us to watch, right? But this additional beam of light is there strictly to look cool. And then they, instead of just having it, they actually have them be like, it's got some sort of energy beam. And he's like putting his hand through it and it's making noise. And you're like, okay, so I guess that's a thing that exists. And it does exist in all the Alien movies. And they don't tell us what it is. And I'm like, I guess it just comes off the eggs. Who knows? Do you guys know? Do you have a theory? I don't have a theory. I assume it just comes off the egg.
Lasers.
That's
my theory. Yeah.
Okay.
And magnets. Lasers, magnets, and then mist.
Theories.
Lasers and magnets and mist. I like it. All right.
Oh my.
Yes. And this is probably like the poorest moment in the entire movie, because as he's like, it reacts when you put your hand through it, he like falls off, and there's no reason for him to slip. He seems
he just eats shit,
or he just falls over, which is fine. In a modern era, I think Ridley Scott would be like, that's dumb. He has to fall off for some reason. Maybe it's full of goo, or like maybe something scares him and he gets startled and falls. It would be something else. But we're already tense enough, guys. And you know what? It's about to get tenser, because he falls in and he's like, no, I'm all right. And he goes up to an egg and he places his hand upon the egg and he's like, it's translucent and there's something moving inside it. And he touches it and it opens up in the most unsettling and gross and probably best way I've ever seen something weird open.
Like a cervix effacing is kind of what it looks like. Like a baby is about to be born through a cervical canal.
Yeah, that's what happens when a baby is born. The vagina goes like this.
Yeah, I'm behind on the pit, so no spoilers.
Oh man.
I already told you guys about the gloves, but yeah, the inside of this thing is like heart, livers, and fucking like a bunch of cow meat, just like put like all the organs are just in there. It's actual meat. That's why it looks so authentic, because it is.
Well, the face hugger is a bunch of seafood, right? So it's all in line.
Well, when it's upside down later, there's a bunch of stuff in there, but in here it's real organic stuff.
Surf and turf.
And John Hurt says like, it's some kind of organic reaction, and and then he gets the thing on his head. I think maybe one of the most effective jump scares to ever exist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It still works. The noise that they use is I know what the sound effect is too. God damn it. It's something really mundane that they like sped up slightly, I believe. If anybody in the comments knows, I should have this committed to memory at this point after chicken noodle souping myself to sleep a million times with Ridley Scott.
And the thing is, like, so often jump scares are cheap. Like, this isn't cheap at all. Like, this is a key plot point, and it's like actually a terrible thing that happens to this person and is also an inciting incident for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, works on so many levels. Like, you have that jump scare, but also it pays off.
If anything, the cheap jump scare is when he weirdly falls off the ledge.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah.
where you're like undeserved.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like you say, it is deserved because the movie, we're almost at like 35 minutes into this movie right now, and nothing has happened really yet, right? Like it's just pure tension building the entirety of this movie, and this is the final moment where something happens.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful. Like I love that in a horror movie where it's like, no, we're just gonna make you kind of freaked out a little bit the whole time because everything is meant to be off-putting and scary. Like the scary fact is that they are alone in space. They have each other, so you feel a little bit safe, but no.
Yeah.
And this movie is like used as a template for a lot of I don't want to say like more intellectual horror movies, but like that is kind of the case where it's like movies that are considered highbrow in terms of horror follow this very closely as a template because they go almost 45 minutes closing in on an hour without anything horrific happening or anything actually even scary happening until it starts to happen. And then it's like beat after beat after beat. I think Jason froze. He's so scared. The tension is real.
I was trying to find if there was information on what the sound was. That's my reading face.
Right. Would have been cool to see them address Prometheus. Is that what he said?
No, this was the light comment from before.
Oh yeah. But I mean, we don't get the eggs in Prometheus. Because Prometheus doesn't have anything really to do with xenomorphs. Covenant, on the other hand, does, but it doesn't have the lasers. I was going to say something, and I can't remember what it was. This is what ADHD does to you folks. You got to say it or it's gone forever.
Yep.
So anyway, they decide to take John Hurt back to the ship. It cuts, actually kind of like hard cuts to outside after he gets the monster in his face. It cuts to the exterior of the spaceship and they're just like they're coming through the storm with him, and now Ripley's in control of the door instead of Ash. And she's like, what's going on? They say, you know, he's got some kind of organism attached to his face, and she's like, okay, well, you guys aren't coming in. Like, no, sorry, protocol says 24 hours, like we can't let you in. And they're like, no, he might be dead. And she's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you guys all signed the same contract I did, right? Like, you know what's supposed to happen. And this is the moment that like if you just listen to Ripley, the movie doesn't happen, right? Like this is the moment.
And Ash cared so much before about the contract when it came to money, but now when it comes to getting his prize, he doesn't really care.
But the thing is that he cared about the prize the whole time, right? Like that's why he wants to send them out. Yeah.
But he starts acting like a weird pervert for the specimen that is Kane coming back in with whatever this thing is attached to his face. And when they lay him down and show the like helmet with the like tail sort of protruding, it's so weird. I really wish that it was 1979 and this was the, we're seeing this for the first time, and what my imagination would do. Wondering like what Steven was saying earlier about getting like Men in Black zapped. I really want to know what people thought of this because it's horrifying. It takes it from sci-fi to horror, seeing the broken face shield. And then they when they cut it open, and then it's just this alien just locked onto the guy's face. And then on top of that, they start scanning him, and they can't make heads or tails of what is actually happening organically because he's still breathing, but in this weird. He's got this weird breathing that isn't natural, and they can't see the like. We know now that there's like a weird thing that comes out of the face hugger and is impregnating his throat, basically.
Yeah.
But they don't know any of this from their tools. They can't really make heads or tails of what they're looking at.
Yeah. But it's so scary, right? Like to have this unconscious person, to know that it's a bad idea to bring them in. It's the original sort of like don't let them in story. I guess there's probably like a million others, but like this one is the one that like it's the scariest. And you know what the rules are now, like immediately. And there's not a singular alien project that has happened after this where someone being alone for an extended period of time is not scary, where you're like, this person probably has an alien in them. Right?
Yeah. Well, it's like that zombie movie trope too, where you got to check people over for bites and
Except in this, you got to check their chests for eggs.
Yeah, exactly.
You got eggs in your lungs. Also, like, this is one thing that I've never totally been clear on, but I think it just like it just lays them in your chest, but like it makes more sense that they put them in your lung, right? Like that's probably where.
I think you become the egg for the alien, and it's in your lung cavity, like that part that I don't know what it's called. Your lungs go off like this, but there's that like lung tube in the middle. I think it goes right in the middle, like right in the center of your chest,
right.
And then it gestates really fast and bursts out. Yeah. And then its first instinct is to grow up rapidly and then steal people.
Its first instinct is to grow up, just like all of us. That's all of our instinct.
Really.
I feel like,
and then put its goo down with people as its fertilizer, and then the eggs come out of that.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna ask you that later in the movie, because like they keep not being able to find the dead people. Like the only corpses that are actually found are Lambert and Parker, because she runs in there, and it's like because the alien is also probably freaking out because of all the alarms going off, right? So it's like, but like there's got to be a spot on the ship that it's dragging everybody to, and like barfing onto the wall or whatever to like slather them up, right?
Yeah.
And that's the smart thing about aliens, is like they really, really expand on like what these things are beyond this.
But we see their whole life cycle in this one movie. I feel like almost their whole life cycle.
Yeah, they got the graduation cap and was like, dang, 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 got married. So
what were you gonna say, Trevor?
Yes, I was just gonna say that you would make a good xenomorph sex ed teacher.
Yeah,
just teaching xenomorphs when a xenomorph really loves another xenomorph.
Well, this is what I'm saying here. They do. I saw Dallas in the version I watched. Did you guys not have that? Where Ripley goes into a room, Dallas is like, help me. And the old guy is also there, but he's all like done up. And she starts spraying the room with fire. So you do see that, like, I feel like that moment, that cut scene is what, and that stuff turns into the like fertilizer for where the eggs come out of. So I must have gotten I think I watched the director's cut, actually. Let me look.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would also like to put the caveat here too, is last night.
Oh yeah, I've seen this too.
The movie.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was watching the movie last night and I started smelling smoke in my apartment. So I went out into the hall and my hallway was filled with smoke, and I had to call 911, and then they told me to pull the fire alarm. So I got to pull a fire alarm for the first time in my life.
Whoa.
But I was also kind of like, from that moment on, very distracted,
right,
for the rest of the movie. So it's very possible I just missed an entire scene.
So when you pull it, it was like like in real life, and then you go back and it's like matching up with the lighting of the movie. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah, I watched the director's cut by accident
That's fine. No, you're right. I've seen this before as well. I thought that this was created after, and like I've seen this a million times. So I'm glad that my brain has corrected its course, because sometimes you're like, I've seen this so many times that I know every inch of it, but then it's like, oh yeah, there's a deleted scene that was added. Often, I will say, Ridley Scott is one of those directors where if you watch the director's cut, it's usually better.
Oh yeah. What was the Crusades one?
Oh, Kingdom of Heaven.
That's just, the director's cut is beautiful. Like, it's just a fantastic movie. The regular movie, it's like, not a big fan.
Unless it's Blade Runner, where he has like 15 different versions.
Yeah.
This is the one where, I got real funky with it. It's like, Ridley, relax.
But yeah, there's the sequence with the face hugger in the helmet, and Ash is acting like a total weirdo.
Yeah, so this is where they bring him into the I guess it's like a medical suite or ward or whatever. Yeah. And this is the weirdest part that I noticed for the first time ever, is that Dallas and Ash not wearing shirts underneath their scrubs.
Yeah.
You can see it's like skin. You're like, what the fuck? Like, why they take their shirts off?
Also, when they put him in the device, the scanner, they're like, you can take your mask off now. And I'm like, what?
And their mask is like a little thing that has nothing attached to it. It's just like that.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're wearing no shirts underneath their things, I'm like, why? Like, well, like I couldn't stop thinking about it once I noticed it. And I was watching it with Danny, and I was like, I'm not going to mention this because I know Danny's then going to hyperfix on it as well, and we're going to just talk about that and not focus on what's happening in the scene. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to think about this and not think about it that much. Yeah. But the only thing that I can think of that made sense is that it was too hot from the lights.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So they're like, can we take our shirts off now that we, it doesn't matter. No one will notice.
Yeah.
Little did they know that I noticed Ian Holm. But it's one of those things where like the entire crew is sitting outside of the viewing window, and they're talking about like it's going down into his lung. Like if I cut it off, it could kill him. It's providing him oxygen because that's what it does. Because they have these little bags on the side, right? So it must be going into its lungs, right?
Yeah,
it has to be. Yeah, and they're concerned, but they're also like, okay, let's put him into the MRI and scan it properly. And they decide that they're going to try and cut the fingers because it's grasping onto his head.
Meanwhile, Parker's yelling, just freeze him, just put him in
the whole time. He's like, he's pressing the button. He's like, is this thing on? Is this thing on here?
Because he's the audience. That's because that's what everybody's saying. But like, why didn't they? Like, even from Ash's perspective, why didn't they? Because like, they could get the prize when they get back to Earth. Everything's, unless he was afraid.
This is where I think that Ash is already in sort of some form of degradation from what he's supposed to be, right? Like he has this goal, which is to get this thing, and then he has this thing on his plate, which he's probably never encountered ever in his entire career as a synthetic.
Yeah,
and now he's like, I could keep going and discover something extremely interesting. And so now this thing that Ridley Scott like tries to get us to grapple with in the entirety of all of his alien movies is like, are the synthetic people real? Are they real people? Like he loves making you think like, are they real?
Yeah.
And like there is a moment here where it seems like Ash has genuine curiosity and he wants to be the one to figure it out, not necessarily for anything other than like his own satisfaction.
Yeah, because then if they freeze it, it's another scientist.
It's going to go to a different. It's going to go to an entire team.
Yeah,
that's how I always sort of viewed it. But at the same time, he then goes crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe he was already crazy the whole time. Like, who knows, right? But I like that shit. Like, again, one of the most interesting parts of the Alien franchise is the synthetic beings being like way more human than human beings are capable of being, but also way more demonic and horrifying than humans are capable of being as well. Mother wanted to know. That's true. Mother probably told him to do it. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Because they're probably linked in a different way.
Oh yeah. Mother later is like, remember when she like reads all the mother messages being like, crew is secondary to all nature or whatever.
Yeah.
So they cut the finger at the joint. He's like, maybe right here at the top of the joint. Seems like a good place to to cut it, right? And he uses a little space laser to cut it, and a bunch of goo comes out, grimoire goo. And this is like, again, one of the coolest things in science fiction. Like, it's so terrifying and scary, but also I think Parker has like the best line later. It's like, it's got a perfect defense mechanism. You dare not kill it. Because it's like, yeah, you dare not stab this thing with a knife because your knife will disintegrate, and then so will your fingers and your palm and your wrist.
Yeah.
And there's the classic from a production standpoint, they just like poured something on styrofoam to make it like melt like that.
Yeah.
And
it looks cool. Like, it looks so authentic. And real, because it goes through layer after layer, and then they even have like wires and stuff that melt away as well. Like, they didn't just make it like one little shitty styrofoam layer. It's like, no, there's like tons of layers, and it's going through, and then they have everybody running through the decks. And the music here is really interesting too, because it's almost like it reminds me of like something that would play as like a spider grabs an ant and like pulls it up to its web, like the music that's like ding, 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 like something that would be like creepy and strange, but also like frightening but playful in a way. And like it's playing here, and like as they're going through the different decks.
They describe it as like a molecular acid as well, and it seems like once the acid touches the air, it starts to degrade a little bit, so it doesn't just keep going and going and going like a nuclear, like a piece of
like a lightsaber.
When you drop a lightsaber straight down.
Oh fuck! Is that a lightsaber? I mean, I assume it. Yeah, like you say, Jason, it just sort of like it starts to touch things and like solidify or something, and it eventually stops. Imagine it got to that lower deck though and just blew a hole through the bottom. Everyone's getting sucked out.
Right?
You're like, game over, man.
Game over, man. Game over. And then they're like, well, fuck. I guess we leave him for a bit, and then they leave him for a little while. But then it comes off. Right? Like, wait, what happens? There's something that happens in between. Fuck. I should have taken better notes. I've seen this
conversation between Ash and Ripley that's very tense, and Ash conveniently forgot a bunch of protocol, and then when they go back to check him later,
right.
The facehugger's just missing, and then they just find it curled up, and it has like one last like.
No, it falls on Ripley. She's like, fuck!
It goes up into the rafters or whatever.
But they have these little Harry Potter wands that are like I guess they're like electros or something. I don't know. But they have that conversation by the micro, and she's kind of fucking with his stuff, and he's like, please don't do that. I'm taking notes. And he's like, well, I've discovered this, and this about, the acid blood, and also like these 4 pieces of information that are interesting. She's like, that is interesting. So what else is interesting is that you shouldn't have opened that fucking door. And he's like, well, they would have died. And like, this is him feigning humanity, which is really cool.
They would have died.
He might as well have done that.
Yeah.
But that, again, that's the thing where you like, that's what it is after. But like before, I remember that music. It didn't seem out of place, but odd. Yeah, no, the thing is, it didn't seem out of place. But like the thing about it was that I think it sounds small, but threatening. I think that's what I was trying to say. Like a spider taking an ant is like a little thing that could cause a lot of damage, is like what that music was really sort of like successfully encapsulating to me.
Yeah.
Sorry, I love this movie so much that everything is so like, I'm like, this is so cool. Like that tiny little bit of music is sick. But yeah, they the crew, we've got like little moments between all the crew members, the engineers, Lambert, like everybody's doing little things here and there. And then they're like, well, we've got to go. No, they get called. It's like, you should come check on Kane. Something's happened. And they're like, okay, let's go. And like, they go, and the creature's off his face, and they they try and find it, and this is another tense scene. I do remember the first time I watched this movie being legitimately freaked out at this point, where it's like it could be anywhere.
Yeah.
And I remember my first viewing being like, oh my god, it's gonna just fucking jump out and grab another person, and then when it comes out as dead, I remember being like, what the fuck is going on? But then my brain was like, oh, the chest. Oh, okay, I know what's gonna happen.
At my funeral, I'm gonna come out as dead. Thanks, Trevor.
I need somebody at my funeral to point at the casket or probably urn and go, well, your funeral.
I can do that for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So they then examine it. They examine the little nasty hand man.
Yeah.
And like Jason said, it's made of a bunch of raw fish and shit that they stapled together to look gross and gooey. And it does look gross and gooey. And like, I love this. Again, this is like reminds me of, there's like a thing that they used to do in old 70s movies and like just filmmaking in general back then, where they just have this master shot of everybody doing something together. All three people are like really close together in this very tight seeming lab area. And there's maybe one other camera angle that it cuts to, max two. And like, there's parts where he's like, excuse me. And like, he's just reaching past them and pulling up another tool and like fiddling with the nasty folds of this vagina monster. And you're like, what the heck is going on here? But it's so gross. And it works so well that you don't question anything up to this moment about like the fact that this thing latched onto somebody's face, and it's not unbelievable. It looks real. It looks like a real nasty little alien.
Yeah.
I mean, look at other sci-fi around the same. Like, when did the Disney movie, The Black Hole, come out? That was around the same time, right?
That was around this time.
Yeah. And it's like, I couldn't even get through it. Like, it was just. So.
Oh, came out the same year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say 1980.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I'm aware of it, but that's one of those. I think that would fit well, not in the Grimoire of Familiar Killers month, but like if we did a sci-fi, I think the Black Hole. I think we've discussed doing the Black Hole actually for that sci-fi month we did.
I've watched the Black Hole more than once, and I cannot remember a single thing that happens in it.
I remember it was bad.
This is like the Tron era, where
there were no moments where you're like, "This feels real." Like, no.
Yeah. You weren't like, I believe
Disney.
Yeah.
So we have another sort of like through the crew, showing them dealing with their emotions of what's happening. And then we have again, like a little moment, which is nice, is like they're sitting in the common room area, and another moment of character building where Harry Dean Stanton's character just keeps going like, right. Everything that you say, you just say right after. Right. It's good. It's like a funny little moment. A much needed moment of levity, because this movie does not really have any of it. Right.
Right.
Yeah. And they are once again called by Ash, being like, we should probably go down to the medical labs because we need to examine him and get Kane. Something's going on with Kane. They're like, what is it? And he's like, it'll just be quicker if you come down here. But literally, he could have just said, he's awake.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? It's easier if you come
times and he's good. Yeah. But he's pregnant. He's pregnant, guys.
Yeah.
He is. He's
he has cravings right after that too, so he's got it.
I really could use some Chinese food. Stale 40,000 day old Chinese food. And he gets it. He does get it.
Mm-hmm.
They have a moment where like they're asking him like, what do you remember? And he's like, I don't remember everything or anything. And he's he's drinking like 1 million glasses of water. And you're happy he's alive because you're like, he's the main character of the movie, right? Isn't he? Like, he's supposed to live to the end. And he doesn't live for like an additional 5 to 8 minutes. He's gone very quickly after this. But
one of the most iconic moments in cinema history too.
Yeah, they make the executive decision that they're all going to go back to sleep, but they're going to have one more meal before they do that.
Yeah,
they've got to go have one last meal, and he's like, I want freeze-dried raisins, I want Captain Crunch, and I want some spicy lau mein.
Classic last meal.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you watch Mythical Kitchen, then
yeah, and he gets all three. And again, it's sort of like a reflection of the first time we see them waking up. This is like a reflection of what happens before they go to sleep, and he starts choking, and I almost call him Chow Yun Fat. Yaphet Kotto is like, we've done a lot of John Woo movies on this show, so Chow Yun Fat has just burned my brain. But Yaphet Kotto is like, oh man, the food isn't that bad, but then it is that bad. It's so bad that it causes an alien to burst from his chest,
and then that alien dances across the table to "Hello, My Baby."
Yeah, hello, my ragtime gal, baby.
John Hurt's like, not again.
Yeah, God damn it.
But it is horrifying.
Yeah.
So they yeet him into space.
There is like one part. So I was saying earlier that like the little puppet is not like, it doesn't hold up that well, but there are certain things about it that really do. Like there's this part where it comes upward slowly, and it's like it's making the noises, but then behind it the tail is like coiling as it rises, and I'm like, holy fuck, that's good. Like that is so good, because like a lazy movie would not do that, right? Like a lazy movie would not have the tail coiling as it rose, because it's like,
we also forgot to mention that when the face hugger is on him, the tail keeps like going around his neck and tensing around his neck, and they're like, every time that they fuck with it on its face, it tenses around his neck. That's explained later in the later movies, that it's supposed to like kind of helps hold the face hugger in place. But also it seems like it'll just kill you if it feels any danger. Because
I don't think it needs you to be necessarily alive for that long before it gestates, right? Like all frightening all frightening things. Like we can't get it off because it'll strangle him to death, but also the face huggers also only get scarier from this movie onward. Like it's almost like every time they reintroduce a face hugger, it's like they find a way
bigger and weirder. It's
not even that it's bigger, it's just that the way they move is more frightening. They can leap through the air like in Alien versus Predator, when it's like coming at you and they chop it in half. Even in Aliens, like there's two of them in that room, and they're just really having to fight for their lives to not get.
If you've played the Half-Life video games, there's a monster in that just like leaps at you like that. It's very off-putting.
No one's played that game, Jason. It's like a 25-year-old game. Just kidding.
We all played it 25 years ago. Okay.
I remember hearing that they didn't tell the cast what was happening during the chest burst scene so they could get some genuine reactions. Yeah, that's absolutely true. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but I still am not certain if they didn't tell them about the entirety of the sequence, or if the blood wasn't going to be that fucking wild. But
I was
either way, got some genuine reactions.
They would have had to switch the body to a thing that was going to have the technology happen.
Yeah,
but it must have been like
they didn't actually punch through John Hurt's chest in that sequence.
This is actually a snuff film. That's why it's so effective.
Yeah.
John Hurt was like, I'll do this. I'm willing to take one for the team.
So I mean, again, it is one of the most iconic sequences to ever exist in all of cinema. I think when people think about horror movies as like, what are the top 10 horror things that have ever happened? If this doesn't appear on your list, then you're either, like a 12-year-old, or you just don't actually watch good horror movies. But whatever.
Or for me, if it didn't appear on my list and somebody said, what about Alien? I'd be like, ah!
Yeah, exactly. Whoopsies. And you look at your list, you're like, I put Smile 2 on here twice? Why the hell did I do that?
The scene from Insidious where the the guy pops up behind.
Darth Maul.
Yeah, Darth Maul pops up behind his head.
Yeah.
Also, Insidious
Patrick Wilson.
and Smile 2, also good horror movies. I'm not sure.
They're good.
I
I don't
watched
like Insidious that much, but
Oh, I used to watch Insidious on Christmas Day. I don't know why it's just become a tradition where I watch the Insidious movies on Christmas.
That's interesting.
That's an interesting. How did that start?
Alcohol.
No,
Alcohol.
okay, yeah, let's do it.
You're like, I'm alone on Christmas again. I guess I'll watch Insidious. Merry Christmas to me. Merry Christmas.
My favorite Christmas Carol. Yeah.
I think Michael Jackson owns the rights to that one.
I think you might be right. Yeah.
So again, like the chestburster itself is amazing, but also all the reactions within this are great. Yaphet Kotto like trying to like go at it, and I'm like, let him do it. Like if Yaphet Kotto just stomped the shit out of that thing as well. This is another moment where Yaphet Kotto's character, much like Ripley's, is constantly doing the right thing, but everybody else is sort of stopping him or shutting him down.
Yeah.
If he had just smacked that thing in the head with that pole that he had, like he probably would have knocked its brains out. It would have burned through the hull, but he could have killed it. I can't imagine that thing is that dangerous. Until you watch all the movies that come after where those little things are mega hella dangerous. Like they are. It's like a snake, but way worse.
Well, when they pull one off of somebody in one of the movies, and you see exactly what it's doing, and then you're like, "Oh, this whole thing is an allegory for rape." The whole thing.
Well, yeah, Alien is, yeah. That's I mean, that's H.R. Giger's influence being like, in space, no one can hear you get raped. I think is what he said. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I don't think he said that. I think he thought it though.
What movie? Because there was another movie that originally was going to use In Space No One Can Hear You Scream, right? Am I wrong about that? And then they ended up not using it.
I don't know.
I
actually don't know this factoid.
Okay. But did you know that when Aragon kicked the helmet, he actually
You actually yelled, when you kick a helmet, nobody can hear you scream. You're screaming if your foot's broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he was in space, no one could hear him, though, I bet. Okay, so the thing runs away in a very funny, kind of like interesting, like it looks like it's on a track, but it's I still like it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, fuck. I guess we can't go to sleep. We need to find that thing and shoot it at the goddamn airlock.
Yeah.
But first they shoot Kane out the airlock. But also, this is a weird thing where like Ridley Scott often puts like religious allegory and metaphor into his movies like all the time. And he's never stopped.
Flash Gordon, guys. According to the Human Tommy, that they might have almost used it in.
Okay.
Oh. Not
Sorry,
Flash
Steven.
Gordon.
Not Flash Gordon, no.
Okay.
In space, nobody can hear you. Fuck is what they actually were going to use for that movie.
You should have said cream.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should have said cream, but
I blew it.
Next time.
Oh, it was a joke. But now we have In Space, Nobody Can Hear You Cream. So here we are. That's a shirt. I'm gonna write that down.
That's a shark. In space, no one can hear your spleen. So they shoot Kane out. Oh yeah, the religious allegory thing is like there's a part where Ash says like just unprompted, not really to anybody but to himself. He says like Kane's son. Like he just like says it to no one. And I'm like, oh fuck. And like how Ridley loves that crazy shit. And like Cain in the Bible is like an evil fuck who killed his brother or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, does Cain have children? I didn't look it up or anything, but I'm like, that seems like a thing that Ridley is just hucking in there just for.
Actually, Cain was the brother of the Undertaker, and the Undertaker actually threw mankind off the top of the Hell in a Cell in 1998. So I think that's what he was talking about.
Oh yeah, that's true. I never took that into consideration.
Yeah, you're good at history.
Yeah.
I know more science shit.
Yeah. Nerds.
So they have a moment where they shoot Kane's corpse into space, which is, I feel like Ash would probably not want to do that, but maybe he's now trying to fit in. Or he's like, well, I gotta fit in where they're gonna catch on to me, my robo powers.
He's like, yes, let's skibbity eat him into space, my dudes.
Yeah, he said that. He definitely said that.
Trying
And
to fit in.
then they have like a brief moment of, let's gather all the technology that we have on the ship to try and figure out where this little fucker is, because they think it's little and it's going to stay little forever, right, guys? It's not going to get big. It's not going to get so big, bigger than anybody
It's
else.
not going to become the size of a man in a crocodile outfit.
Yeah.
It's not going to get the height of like I think he's like Ugandan or something. He's like a Ugandan Olympian. The guy who was wearing the outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not gonna happen.
Balaji Badej. I should not try to pronounce names without like hearing it first. New rule.
Right. I do believe that he was actually like an Olympian or something weird. Like he was like a high jumper or something from the Olympics. Yeah. The whole team comes together and they bring their technologies. That we got flamethrowers, we got cattle prods, and we got this weird sort of like, it looks like one of those things that you stick inside of like a beekeeper's atrium or whatever to like make the smoke go and make the bees fall asleep. But it just like tells you when shit is moving. And they're like, well, what is it tracking? And he's like, molecular air molecule movement or something like that. Like it tracks it down to like a singular molecule moving in the air. So like it's not
Sorry,
just
Steve, just on the last thought, I found this earlier today and I thought it was on point for David Cronenberg.
I'm surprised that he doesn't like Alien.
Yeah.
I think he's jealous of Alien, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, Cronenberg's movies are fucking wild, though.
Yeah.
True.
There's a whole movie where people have like a little sack that's attached to like what they used to be inside of their mom with that they just carry around with each other. Like that's the kind of shit. He's like, when he talks about metaphysics, he just wants it to be nasty as fuck.
Yeah, what if everybody was just had their placenta and H.R. Geiger's like, yes.
It'd be funny if his quote was not nasty enough for the Cronenberg. Yeah.
Oh, hey, we're getting extra crazy here tonight.
Wow.
So he 3D printed it. Actually, I'll post the making of video, but Trevor, just so you're like, what the fuck was that? Our friend gives us at episode 200. I had all of our friends sort of be like, congratulations on episode 200.
Yeah.
But at 223, our friend Alex has not stopped sending them to us.
Amazing.
And he keeps changing it up. And there's been all kinds of, I'm going to make a super cut one day, probably.
It's wild that Alex prepares more thoroughly for this show each week than I do.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, those are all the surprises.
Unless.
Now watch as Steve tries to remember where we were.
We were at the Ghostbusters moment where they explain all their gear.
Right. Yeah.
And they do, and it's fine. And then they split into teams, which is Scooby-Doo, guys, Scooby-Doo. Me and Shaggy are gonna go down to the but I do kind of like the split up that they have. It's good. And they search for the alien, and they realize, oh yeah, we have a cat on board. Remember Jonesy? Remember Jones guys?
Yeah, poor Jonesy.
Yeah.
Fantastic cat.
Oh,
I kept trying to, while I was watching it with Danny, I kept trying to make a joke. Like it got funnier as it went, but it was only because in the moment it was funny.
yeah.
Where they were looking, and then I kept being like, "What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa!" And I was like, "Oh, Ron Jones." And I was like, I kept trying to make a joke where they keep finding Tom Jones on the ship.
Well, I was just worried about Jonesy the whole time because my cat is so needy. And it's like, there's like such long periods of time where he's just alone on the ship. And what's he eating? Do they have an automatic feeder for him? Like,
I was thinking that as well, but I also thought that this cat is an orange cat, and orange cats are fucked. So like,
I also had that thought when she picks up the cat later, and he's just like hissing.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, that's orange cat behavior. Right, this orange cat is in its element.
Also, Sigourney Weaver clearly being clawed hard, and she's like, "Nice to see you too, asshole." Like she's not even like freaking out that she has like 8 daggers inside of her thigh and shoulder. But I do like the moment where they go down into the engineering section or whatever the fuck that area is supposed to be, and they find the target, and it turns out to be the cat, and it runs by, and Brett doesn't stop it, and everyone turns and like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "What? It's just a cat. Like, what do you mean?" And they're like, "You moron!" Like Yaphet Kotto is the one who has to like break it down for him because Sigourney Weaver has no time. She's like, I can't talk to this dickhead.
Yeah.
And Yaphet Kotto's like, now we're gonna have to fucking pick him up over and over again if we don't catch you need to catch the cat. And he's like, all right, go.
Also, Jonesy is besides obviously the xenomorph, Jonesy is the reason for so many jump scares in this movie. Like so many. Like most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of that episode of Community where they go down in the basement and it's like, "Whoa, it's just a cat." And they're like, whoa, it's a cat again. What is up with that cat?
I wonder if it's that's a reference to this movie directly, because Dan Harmon loves Alien.
I mean, there's already like 10 Alien references in that episode already, so maybe.
Well, it's the Halloween episode, and literally Abed is dressed as a xenomorph.
Yeah.
Or Batman. It could.
No, he's dressed as a xenomorph.
It's the
Troy
xenomorph
is
one?
dressed as the Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
And then he changes costumes to a sexy vampire or sexy Dracula. Like, you're a sexy Dracula or just a vampire? He's like, I don't need to know which Dracula I am.
And Pierce is like, you're Blackula. And it's like, no.
I don't think that happens.
I made it up in my head.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But Pierce,
I just have a note here that says Tom Skerritt looks for Jonesy the cat. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Trevor. My thing.
Well, it's not Tom Skerritt, isn't it? Harry Dean Stanton.
Yes, it is. I got their names mixed up. So I'm gonna sit back for a minute. You guys just
take 10.
Yeah, he does a great job of looking for the cat. He goes, Jonesy, where the hell are you, Jonesy? And then he starts going, meow. He's doing a really good cat noise.
When he was doing "Here, Kitty, Kitty," my cat got up and started. Pretty good job.
Yeah.
I like this, but also it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, you have to forget this is a late 70s movie. Don't judge it too harshly based on the characters separating, because like, that if the three of us were in a situation where we had an alien situation, we would not leave one another for a second. We would stick together like glue.
Well,
but Halloween was a new movie at this time, so nobody really knew the tropes.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Is we know now, but like that you have to watch it and be like, okay, these things have not been established yet, because this is stuff that filmmakers now have to think about all the time when they make movies like this, right? Like the people know the rules, and it's like Jamie Kennedy's character from Scream. Like, these are the rules and these are the things you need to follow, and if you fail, you'll die.
Well, I was even thinking that about Parker, that he was kind of this movie's Jamie Kennedy.
A little bit,
yeah.
Especially after he stops worrying about getting a cut. He's like, okay, well, now we just have to worry about surviving.
Yeah.
But then he's also the one that goes off by himself. And you're like, no, but he doesn't die, which is good. I mean, he does die, but like he doesn't die in that moment.
And that was another progressive thing, that it wasn't the black guy that was the first to die.
Yeah, but I also think that like Ridley Scott was probably aware of that.
Yeah,
in that moment where he's like,
already
no,
true,
no, but also he's like, not only am I not going to make you die, I'm going to make you one of the most relatable and interesting characters in the entire film.
Yeah.
you're just going to be a blue collar worker.
Yeah.
And also the audience insert.
Yeah.
So Harry Dean Stanton gets killed, and it's really cool. Like this, he goes into that chain room, which is like, why are all these chains here? What's up with the chain room, guys? I assume they're meant to chain things up. But
I was wondering about this too, because this whole room is interesting. He walks in, and it's raining in this room, and he does it like if I walk into a spaceship, any kind of industrial complex sort of room, and it's raining, I'm not going to like be refreshed by the water that's falling from the sky.
Yeah. Also, you'd think it would be like coolant or something. It wouldn't be water. It would be like if it touched your skin, you'd be like, fuck, it's so cold. It's way too cold.
Unless it was a chemical shower. I used to work in a factory, right? So you'd have the chemical shower that if you got chemicals on you, you run over, you hold the thing and you get water. And one time a forklift driver was going by and accidentally like hit it, so it started pouring water everywhere. So I just calmly walked over and shut it off. And then a forklift comes over thinking I had just walked over there to turn it on and then back off again and start. It's like,
and then you were fired.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I turned it off.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say I calmly walked up to it and went.
Yeah,
just like let it go on you.
The scene from Flashdance.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I used to work in one of those too, and a battery exploded and got into a guy's face, and he had to go inside there. And I was like, "You're using the wrong one, man. You got to go to the eyeball one," because there was the other like eyeball.
Right. Yeah.
So he went into the one that comes down, and he was just opening his eyes. I'm like, "You fucking idiot!" And I had to like move him over and like turn on the thing, and I held his head into it, and it was frightening. But I was very calm under the circumstances.
Yeah.
He died. No, I'm just kidding.
In my arms, actually.
Yeah. That's how I knew what it was to be a man that day.
So Harry Dean Stanton does die. He gets a Hellraiser-ish death, which is
this whole sequence is like straight horror because the xenomorph looks great. The cat watching from like between like a crack in the wall, and we're seeing everything from like the cat's point of view, or that's what's trying to be sort of conveyed to us. But when the others come into the room, that rain that we were just talking about turns into a blood rain. They're getting like his blood bled down. It's so fucking cool and good.
Yeah, this movie rules, guys.
Movie rules, guys.
I like it. I like it.
I like it.
We have
my favorite, Trevor. My favorite thing was when I about a week ago you were like, "This movie's a comedy, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's super funny. Your cat's gonna love it."
I bet you the cat did like it.
Yeah.
And then we get I guess maybe like one of the other most iconic moments of this movie, which is the vent. Bleep, 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 bleep. The scene of a person as a dot in a vent and other people watching and being like, "It's right behind you!" Like it's been spoofed in a million things. It's also been recreated in a million things, and it's also extremely
name 50.
effective. 50? Okay. Home Alone. Just kidding. Home Alone 2. Home Alone 3. Home Alone 4. Home Alone 5.
Yep.
Aliens. Alien 3. Alien Resurrection.
Death Stalker 4.
Oh yeah,
that was a piece of shit.
Yeah, when they're like, "It's right behind you." But I mean, we get the captain finally acting, I guess, like a captain should, where he's like, "Fuck the company. We need now to just eradicate this thing."
Yeah.
This is also where I'm like, Ash is agreeing with them as well, but he maybe should be working against them more if he is like only caring about this thing surviving. Because like, why would it kill him? Right? He's not an organic person.
Right.
But once again, I'm like, maybe he's now feeling some sort of human resilience, or he's like, I have self-preservation as well now here. I don't know. How do you guys feel about Ash? I've already asked you this a couple times, but like, I feel like he's gone off the deep end to the point that he's now become like a human, like a gross human.
But I always like when he agrees with people, I always just think there's an ulterior motive, like he's just agreeing for a little trickster,
smooth it over so he can get to the next. Yeah,
because he's kind of a jerk, to be honest.
He's kind of a jerk, and his view of everything seems to get more and more perverted as it goes on. Like
literally at one point, you're like, what is he doing?
Yeah,
what's happening here?
I think he's becoming obsessed in a very human way.
Yeah,
about this, the potential for the xenomorph, which we find out through the movies is like going to be used as like a biological weapon. I don't know if that ever really comes to fruition, but that's what Weyland-Yutani wants to use the xenomorph for.
Yeah.
But
we also like through the movies, we also understand that like they're aware of the xenomorph existing beyond this encounter, which changes the way you can view this movie. But at the same time, even within this movie, it still kind of rules without it, right? Where you're like, that's right. Yeah, the company just wants this weird thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't have much to say about the vent sequence because it's good, it's great. I no notes, wouldn't change a fucking thing. You know?
Yeah, the only thing I really want to mention is the fact that like they're watching him in the vents, and they have a bead on the xenomorph, and they just see it go like making a beeline right to him.
Yeah,
and that's horror. Like that's
yeah, but I mean, the tension is built through the fact that it's not near him, and they lose it.
Yeah,
like we don't know where it is. We can't see it, and then all of a sudden it appears, and it's like fuck, and they're all like fuck, like they're just yelling like it's behind you, and then like that shot that I talked about earlier where he turns around and it's right there, and it's just like hello my baby, hello my darling, like it reaches its hands out.
Yeah,
and the claustrophobia of the sequence too is very good for the tension building. Element of it all too,
and you never see him again except if you're Jason watching the director's cut.
Which
we didn't watch. And this is where they realize like we've got to do this and this in order to survive. And Lambert is like, let's just get on the fucking shuttle and go. And Ridley's like, the shuttle doesn't take 4 people. We can't do that because if we get on the shuttle, then at least 2 of us are going to die anyway.
Yeah.
Because I think there's 2 pods in it or whatever, 2 sleep things in it, right?
Right.
Little do they know that one of them's a fucking robot.
Yeah.
But that still wouldn't be enough. And there's a cat. The cat needs to have its own, right? Or can it survive or is it like a fly machine? If you get in there, you wake up and you're like still like cleaning yourself.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think
that's what happened if David Cronenberg directed this movie, the guy who hates this movie so much.
They're half cat and another half cat.
Yeah.
So they decide that they're going to destroy the whole ship because there's like a little shuttlecraft that exists within that, which means their ship is towing this thing that then also has another additional ship underneath it. So it's like 3 ships all attached together.
Yeah.
And she has to do all this crazy shit to be able to activate the self-destruct sequence. But at the same time, they need coolant, I think. This is the thing that... this is the thing that I've...
The scene where they just find the flamethrower in No Dallas and them starting to freak out reminded me of The Thing. And this whole movie kind of reminds me of The Thing a little bit too. Where they're all sort of just starting to...
Here's a question for you. Do you guys like The Thing or this more? If you had to
I don't know, man.
This?
I think I like Alien better, but I think they're neck and neck for like 2 of the greatest like practical effect point of no return, point of feeling lost.
To be honest, I've only seen The Thing once. So I can't
I can't really be in this conversation other than just for me personally, I love Alien so much that it's a shoe-in. But.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Just kidding. That's a sound that the thing makes.
And that I make sometimes when I eat too fast.
Oh, you do like a one of those random one hiccups, like oh fuck, sorry.
Thanks, Jimmy, by the way.
Yeah,
just want to say thank you, Jimmy.
I think again, when I said earlier, I'm like, it's hard to put movies as like top of the list, but like The Thing and Alien, like they do climb above one another depending on like which one I'm watching at the time. Like greatest movie ever made. If I'm watching The Thing, greatest movie ever made. If I'm watching Alien, greatest movie ever made.
Yeah.
So within this moment, they decide that they have to blow up the ship and that they have to go get coolant. This is a thing again where I'm like, I've seen this movie a million times, but I don't fully, really, truly understand what it is they're doing. They're going and emptying coolant or something. Like they need to get rid of the coolant. It just felt
like they needed to separate them again, so they made because like why would you need to get anything for an escape pod that should be ready to go? But
well, I don't think so. What I think is that what they're doing is that they're disabling a bunch of the coolant from the ship so that if they activate the self-destruct, it cannot be unactivated because they're like, we don't know how smart this thing is, so we got to go get rid of all the coolant. But then my brain was also like, are they taking the coolant for the escape pod? But that can't be it because they don't bring it there. Like nobody brings it there and she still gets away. Yeah. So what I think it is that they have to like pull all those tanks out so that the ship doesn't like stop the self-destruct. Because I think they're like trying to trick the ship into blowing itself up or something. That's what I on this viewing was like, what is that what's happening? Like is that what's going on? I should have been paying closer attention. But yeah, I think it's like we have to get rid of all the coolant or else the ship will automatically stop trying to blow itself up because it'll know that we're trying to blow it up and it has things and safeguards to stop that from happening. So they send Yaphet, Kotto, and Veronica Cartwright down there to pull all those gas canisters out. And this is the moment I think I hate the most is that Veronica Cartwright, clearly very unstable and scared. Like she's but there's moments where she seems like she's badass and ready to go where I'm like, what the fuck? She knows what she's doing. And then when she's immediately confronted by the alien, she melts and doesn't move. And like, you can hear Yaphet Kotto being like, get the fuck out of the way. I'm going to burn his ass. And like, the only reason he's not doing it is because she's there.
Yeah.
And it sucks because it gets them both killed.
For me, I think she's my least favorite character. I think it's just because like there's a little bit of inconsistency there where sometimes she's just so brilliant. And then other times it's like, I don't believe her at all right now. Like I just,
Yeah. I mean, I do believe that she's scared because her character is almost for the last like 45 minutes of this movie, she's almost crying the entire time, which is wild. To imagine having to be a performer in a movie where you're just like, can you water your eyes up a bit more? And she's like, oh God. Let me just think about my dead Jonesy. And they both die. I hate this because it's like you want them to survive, but this is like the case of every horror movie you ever watch, right? Where it's like, these people, they were so close to getting out. And it's also really cool though, because it now just like makes Ripley step forward as like the main person. We also kind of forgot about the Ash part.
Tough.
Whoopsies.
It's tough when you
we skipped that's
okay. Well, it's tough when you have a double kill. The Ash part you're talking about is like, well, Ripley
the only part that matters when she goes into the mother's den or whatever, and she realizes what's happening, and mother is like, we need to get the alien back to Earth because it's the only thing that actually matters and nothing on the ship matters. And she starts to have like a breakdown, and then Ash pops up beside her being like, so I guess you read the fucking footnotes. And she's like, what the hell?
I have a question for you guys about this because I guess I didn't realize I was watching the director's cut, but when I was watching it, she goes out the door after she tosses Ash off her, and when she comes back and her nose is bleeding. So I was confused about this because like, how did her nose start to bleed from just throwing a person was in the Disney Plus version. Is this shown better?
I don't think so.
I think it's
Okay.
just that she is having a stress nosebleed.
But
But
that
also,
never happens in movies ever, right?
She's 11.
Yeah.
I mean, there are many things that can explain it. I think that in Ridley Scott's version, or in his commentary, I believe he says that like Ash hits her back.
Okay. We
And
just
that's
don't
why-
like see
And
it.
they removed it because it was too off-putting.
Okay.
So they're like, we gotta get rid of that. But I mean, you're forgetting the most intriguing part of this is when she fucking grabs him and like manhandles him around a bit and then throws him in the corner. That he's like, and then like some white gunk is coming down his head. You're like,
goop.
what is that? You know, like what the fuck is that? And then he shows up and he's got it all coming out of his pores.
And there's a cool I took this as his full turn happening here, but there's a camera pan where it goes around the back of his head and out into the hallway. And I took that as sort of like showing that he's fully a villain at that moment.
Yeah, I mean that's a good read. I think that he's since the moment that he goes like he's already there, right? Like I think throughout the movie it is him trying to hold it in place and not, let out
But
what
he's
he's trying
been-
to be.
Yeah.
Malfunctioning like the
But yeah,
whole
that
time.
when
basically.
as soon as she lays hands on him, he's like, game over. I don't care anymore. I'm part of the ship and you guys are fucking around too much. I'm just gonna kill all of you and then we'll just get this alien back.
Would you say he was more like game over, man?
I would say that exactly. He said that in his head exactly that way. Yeah. He also heard the
And do you think like, because you were talking about the difference between the Prometheus science-y ships and like they had a lot more money, and then this is where they don't have any money. Is that why he had to have nudie magazines, or whoever it was that had the nudie magazines?
Yeah. So
like
this was also like a
super
funny.
into ancient porn.
Yeah.
This is also a thing that Ridley Scott would do on multiple of these movies that he made, where he's like, we're gonna give you your bunk in the set. So this is your bunk, this is your bunk, this is your bunk. And then he would give all the actors the opportunity to decorate their bunk how they wanted to.
Yeah.
And so like one character would be like, well, I think my character is a pervert, so I'm gonna just make a bunch of boobs everywhere. Is that okay? And Ridley's like, absolutely. And then, but that's the only one we see, right? Is like whoever's bunk that it was probably Harry Dean Stanton, that perv.
Yeah.
But
He's wearing Hawaiian shirt, so he's definitely a pervert.
he definitely loves jerking it while everyone else is sleeping.
Or awake.
Yeah. So
I went there. Yeah, I said that for a reason, you pervert.
Only two types of guys wear Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah. Big fat party animals and gay guys. I know the quote. So he takes her in there, they fight, and then he throws her into the bunk, and then he takes a magazine, rolls it up. The cinematography of this is like really, really menacing because it's shot over the shoulder for a lot of it, and like him rolling, you never like see it like close up of him rolling it up. It's always just like slightly off to the side of the camera, but you can tell he's rolling it up, and you're like, what's he gonna do? Smack her around with it? What the fuck is he gonna do? And he just like shoves it into her mouth.
Here's I wrote my notes here as though I didn't know that he was a robot, and I wrote the old magazine in the mouth trick. Why can't three men stop Ash? WTF? He's a robot? They didn't know though. That's crazy. Actually horrifying when it attacks headless because they hack it up and then it continues to attack.
Yeah.
And
He's doing this the whole time, like
it's as menacing as the xenomorph, maybe scarier because
it is
so
scarier.
humanoid.
I think it's actually absolutely scarier. Yeah, it freaks me out even to this day, like his movements and everything, and like him acting and being like and like spitting the milk out and shit. You're like, what the fuck? It's off-putting to a point that it feels more alien than the alien because it's supposed to be a human, and you're like, this isn't right. This isn't right at all. And the only thing that would be scarier is if he kept holding that magazine and kept trying to stuff it in everybody else's mouth. Like,
That's the only way he knows how to kill people.
That's all they programmed into him.
Yeah.
You just take a magazine, you roll it up, and stuff it in a human's mouth if they're getting out of line.
I do remember that like Ridley Scott was saying something about like what would be scarier is that like if he started strangling her, it's like that would be scary. What if he just started punching her? That'd be scary. But he's like, what if he just like did something so weird that like even in his like weird computer brain, he's like, I'm gonna try and kill someone in a way that I've never like been able to like access data on.
Yeah.
Stuff a magazine in someone's throat and see what happens. Yeah. Which is pretty frightening. Like it is like the visual of it where she's trying to get it out and she can't, and she's like, and like Yaphet Kotto's like trying to stop, and he like reaches up slowly and just grabs Yaphet Kotto's titty and squeezes it, and he's like, ah, like clearly that hurt. Like it hurt a lot. Anyway, the whole thing is fucked, and then he bashes his head off his shoulders with a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
And then he still goes down to try and finish it off, and it still grabs him, and he's like, help me. And then we have that moment, which we skipped over entirely, which I apologize for doing that. I don't know why I did, but they place his head down and have a conversation with it.
Just so you know, love is never having to say I'm sorry.
Okay, well,
Thank
then
you.
I'm not sorry, guys.
That's brave. That's brave of you to say.
I have to take a whiz. Is it brave for me to say that?
Yeah.
Super brave.
Okay. I'll be right back.
I'll Sherpa us through the next little bit. Ripley figures it out. The company wanted the alien as a weapon, and Broken Ash sort of confirms that. Broken Ash, I think, is a cool way to describe what he becomes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I like that.
Also, he says you can't kill the xenomorph. He would lie about their chances, but he can't.
Yeah.
However, he will. He does have their sympathy, or they.
Right? Yeah, they have. Yeah, that was menacing too. It's like
because he's smiling through all of this.
Yeah, he's smiling through. He doesn't care. He's gonna make them angry, and while also being that fake friendly. Oh, it was so.
And this is the moment in the movie too. Like the first time I watched it. So to go back to my sort of history with the movie, I always knew elements of it, and when I finally watched it with an adult brain, seeing all of these things, seeing them like land on the planet, you forget about that stuff, and then seeing them like bargain with this like decapitated robot is another whole element that makes your mind and your imagination go crazy. But the fact that he's like, you're fucked, like that thing, if you cut it, it bleeds acid everywhere, is so wild. And then the fact that he's just like, I'm sorry, but you can't do anything, and you have my sympathy. And the whole time he's acting like a bizarre weirdo, like for the whole movie. And his last words are basically like, good luck.
Yeah.
And then they torch him. They're just just torch the whole.
Yaphet Kotto, like he's like gonna burn his face, and then I'm gonna burn his face off. Face off. I think it adds like such a cool layer to this movie that if it didn't have it, I don't think the movie would be nearly as haunting or memorable. You know,
like a non-horror version of this movie that is just very matter of fact and just goes through the beats that we see, but without the weirdness. This movie doesn't land the way that it lands in the future, especially if it's just an old sci-fi movie that has a weird alien, not that cool. But all this other like psychological horror that is like apparent through the whole thing really elevates it to this next level that really keeps it in the zeitgeist.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I was thinking too. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, just like to have watched this movie in the theater, like where you don't have any distractions, where it's just, I mean, your first time watching the movie, like that would have been, jealous.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, imagine it's 1979 and you don't have anything to relate this to, and you go to see it in theater. Truly scary.
Yeah,
like,
that's why that like the little dribble of white liquid is like so intense. Where you're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
because if you don't know, you don't know, and then you're like, what's going on here? Who is it? What is this guy leaking milk?
Yeah.
And then he is leaking milk the whole time. He was leaking milk. And then if you watch the movie again, you realize the whole time they're eating, he's just drinking milk the whole time. He's drinking milk, and then in the lab he's drinking milk. He's just drinking milk the whole time.
Is it milk or is it his fuel?
It's
like he's drinking coolant.
It's some sort of synthetic jizz.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Or just regular jizz.
It's like, so what are you drinking there, Ash? He's like, cum.
Yeah.
What?
Come. Future mission, Synthetic arrives. Hello. Why do you have a box of magazines?
Oh, I suppose these will do. These are National Geographics. Do you have any Penthouse magazines? They're better for my purposes.
They're better for rolling up and putting in a human's mouth. What do you mean by that?
He wants to physically assault somebody sexually with a sexual magazine. He's like, it'll be better for the research.
Yeah.
H.R. Geiger is actually taking notes.
You're like, this is good. This is good. Very good. And then we already talked about everything that comes after this, which is Yaphet, Kotto, and Veronica Cartwright being murdered by the beast. But at the same time,
established, just for the audience, any new people, no relation to Nancy Cartwright,
except the haircut.
Except
if anything, they have the same barber.
Yeah, and the Bart Simpson impression. That
other
Lambert
than
keeps doing through the whole movie. Don't have a cow, man.
Yeah, remember when she tells the alien to eat her shirt?
Yeah, it's eating all of our shirt.
So the alien kills them, and then we also get her successfully arming the, I guess it's a nuclear reaction. It has to be, like, that explosion at the end is fucking Death Star level explosion. And it has all those like weird cylindrical things going, which reminds me of like everything that I've ever watched with a nuclear weapon in it. It always seems like it's encased in some sort of shiny rod or whatever.
Yeah,
like, this has got to be a bunch of uranium rods being touched together or some shit. I don't know what this is, but
so this is the point of the movie too, where she arms the thing and then runs down the hall with the flamethrower, and she finds the room with Harry Dean Stanton and Dallas up in the lake. You remember in the game Duke Nukem? You'd find the strippers and they'd be like, kill me. I think that's a direct reference to this, because Dallas says, save me. And that's when I realized that the xenomorph like puts.
It's wild to me that you don't think that everything in Duke Nukem is a direct reference to something.
No, I know. I know. Just that specifically is that. But anyway, yeah. So that was that scene, I think, is pivotal.
So in the non-director's cut version that we watched, all that happens is she runs down the hallway and the hallway is blocked by the alien, and she's like, "Fuck!" She can't get past. She gets Jonesy in the box and everything still, but she leaves Jonesy there and runs back because she's like, I can't get to the escape pod, so I have to stop the explosion from happening. So she runs back to the cockpit or whatever to disable it, and she disables it within 10 seconds of it being.
No, she doesn't disable it. She does not.
She disables it wrong. Within the last 10 seconds of it being able to be disarmed.
She's like pushing the coolant down in. Like, that can't be good for the machine.
Not working,
Yeah.
So she fucks up and she can't do it. And then she has to run back. But when she runs back, Jonesy's still there in the case. Because the alien looks at it like, and it's like, and the cat's like, meow. And it doesn't attack the cat for some reason. I don't know why. You'd think the alien's like the Predator in a way, where it's like,
I think that's what it is. I was going to say, you already used the theory theme, but my theory was that like the xenomorph needs humanoids, and that's why he doesn't attack Ash and doesn't attack the cat. What about
the dog in Alien 3?
But the face hugger. No. Wait, this is a good question.
Oh, because
the face hugger goes on.
Face hugger.
Yeah.
You're
Not
right.
the same.
Yeah,
It's not the same.
you're
And
right.
also, Alien 3 is marred with disastrous inconsistencies for the whole
I like
franchise.
Alien 3 though a lot. I think it's pretty cool. Charles Dance is in it.
You have
a good
you're
actor.
supplemented by the truth, though. You have like the comic book or whatever, or at least the knowledge of what the movie should
I
be.
liked it before I read that comic book, Jason.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
So, I mean, also I just have to say, like, when she comes around the corner and sees the alien and goes and like goes up against the wall and is like slowly slinking down. I know this happens earlier, but like that's like one of the best pieces of like holy fuck, what do I do acting I've ever seen in my entire life. Where I'm like, and like it makes me more scared watching it, seeing her face, and like I'm like, she's literally feeling terror right now. Like Sigourney is harnessing a terror that we don't all have inside of us.
You know how in Aliens, we get the scene of like the mouth coming out of the mouth and it goes up to her face.
Yeah,
she does that in this escape a bunch of times without the alien actually doing that. Like she's up against the wall a bunch of times, and I was like, does that happen in this? Like it made me forget that it doesn't.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that people forget about Alien 3 is that it has the most iconic image of all of Alien that people think about when they think of Alien. Is like the poster of Alien 3. Yeah. Alien 3 was entertaining, and it has like a lot of good actors in it.
No, I like it. It's got problems.
It's also weird. It is weird and
it's like an unfinished kind of, almost like how modern Hollywood unfinishes movies and shits them out.
Yeah.
But it's still good. Like,
except if you look at it now, you're like, oh wait, this is a good version of an unfinished Hollywood movie being shit out. It's still better than the majority of unfinished movies.
It's mostly now. We'll talk about this next spring, but the CGI is the biggest boon of that movie. Like the weird.
It's not CGI, Jason. It's fucking stop frame animation. That's why you don't like it, you fucking pervert.
I'm a pervert.
Jason's like, I hate Christmas. We all know you hate Christmas, you jag off.
Wait, is Alien 3 a Christmas movie?
It is. That's why Santa Claus is in it. He's like, ho 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 ho, and he's a stop frame animation alien.
Yeah.
No, it's what happened was they tried to use a dog, like an actual dog, in an alien costume, and it looked so fucking terrible that they're like, let's just do a stop frame thing. Yeah. So it almost looks like Return of the Jedi-ish, like the Rancor and stuff. Like it looks like that. Yeah. It's not that bad. That's why when Jason says stuff like that, I want to be like, shut the fuck up.
I know, but fair enough. But the stuff they left in with the dog is like composited over in a really poorly used way.
That's not true. You're just saying stuff.
No. I'm not. I've seen the movie.
You think that they composited something over a dog?
No, they used the dressed up dog and composited it into the movie. I'll rewatch it in March 2027. We'll return to this conversation when we talk
return to the conversation.
Yeah.
It's just like Return of the Jedi, where the Rancor shows up. Okay, anyway. So when I say there, I mean like the cat and Sigourney are now, they realize the hallway is clear. So, but they only have 5 minutes now instead of the 10 because she ran back to try and stop it. And like, this is one of the things that makes me be like, oh, this movie was doing stuff that I wasn't really paying attention to the first 7 times I watched it, where I was always like, why does she go back? And it's like, oh, she's stopping it because she can't get through. So she has to go turn it off. But Jason's version, the one that you've watched, is because she doesn't want those guys to die, right? That makes more sense and is better.
And I have a question, like when she escapes and the whole freight, this like, all this money gets blown up, is blowing up the freight, us knowing now, we find out the alien actually makes it onto the little shuttle, is blowing up all that freight worth it? That went through my head at that moment. I was like,
I mean, if you think it's going to save you from dying and save other human beings from experiencing this alien, then yes. But that's not what happened because the alien got on the little space shuttle.
That's just where my head went. Obviously, it's worth it to survive, but
Also, I don't know if I like the choice of the re-release where when the ship blew up, all those gold coins flew out into space. Like, I was like, oh my god!
And every time she gets hit by a xenomorph, rings fly out of her, and she start the level over.
And she's like, it's like, yeah.
Damn George Lucas.
Yeah.
But she does get to the ship, or I guess it's just a little tiny shuttle. And as she gets in there, even the voice is like, "You've got 20 seconds, motherfucker. 19, 18, 15 seconds left." And every once in a while it says seconds left. Like, I don't know if you noticed it, but it doesn't just keep going 10, 9, 8, 7. Like every time it gets to like an increment number, it's like seconds left, just to like throw down on you.
But seconds left takes seconds.
It takes enough seconds to say like a second. So then she just immediately says the next one right after.
When I tell my Google Home when I ask it to do an alarm, and it says, "All right, I'll start the alarm now," or whatever it fucking says. I'm like, well, that was like 4 seconds, bro.
Don't you realize you're wasting my time?
Yeah, I'm cooking a flan. Okay,
Yeah.
It's very precise.
Yeah.
I'm not cooking a flan. I've never cooked a flan. Sorry, Stephen. Go ahead.
It's okay. She gets into the ship. She puts in the punch codes. She puts on her receipt belt, and then this is also one of the coolest things ever, is that she's like clearly so fucking terrified, and she's looking up, and we keep cutting to what you can only assume is her vision, where she's looking at the top of the space station, and you start to see all the movement of her ship flying outward, and it's still counting down like 10, 9, 8, 6, 5, 3, 14, 18, 15 seconds left. And then it comes out from beyond and you see the stars. And I'm like, this is so good. Like, this is how you shoot something like this. And cut back to her, like with her sweat and her eyes, like staring at the roof. It's so fucking good. And then, we see the explosion. This is one thing where I'm like, all right. I mean, they could go back and make that explosion look a little different. Like, it's not bad. I like that it's pure light. I like that it's almost purely light, but I wish that it was almost just pure light. Like it just give me just pure blinding white light.
Yeah.
And not try to have that weird thing around it that kind of looks like shit. But then she realizes that she's not alone on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel about this? Do you wish that she blew it up? Because she kills it anyway. But also, if she didn't kill it, we wouldn't get Alien Earth. We wouldn't get Alien Earth in the same way that we got Alien Earth.
I don't know about that yet, but my favorite part of this whole movie is when she feels like she's fine, she's made it away, and then she just like catches a weird glimpse of something, or we catch a weird glimpse of something, and then the tail goes whoosh, and then she runs into the closet, and then when she comes back out, it seems like the alien is just like sleeping. Like, is that
he's taking a nap? Yeah.
Is that what is happening here? The alien is asleep in that little bay.
It's great because she goes to like fiddle with something or whatever, right? I don't remember what it is, but it's like all these tubes, and then there's one tube that looks a little bit weird. Yeah. And you're like, what is that tube? And then you see the hand come out like, and she's like, and she's like, holy fuck. And then the tube that's in between all the tubes moves, and you're like, this thing is just blending in with the tubes, man. He looks like a tube. He's a tube.
My favorite scene of the whole movie is when she comes back out, and it's just part of the wall, basically. I love this shot so much. Yeah. And this time that I was watching it today, I was like, does that mean that the xenomorph is on its heels, like it's injured enough or something that it's just trying to like take a quick nap, and when she sees it, and the reason she's able to like come up with this plan to like open the hatch and everything, and she's just like kind of sneaking around, is it because it's weakened to the point that she's able to do that, or is it fully aware and it just isn't attacking for whatever reason. Like this whole sequence is so like makes my mind wander.
Or
so
it's
much.
a queen and it's trying to get to that metamorphosis level where it's going to change to its next state. It's just got to cocoon up for a minute. Yeah. Who knows?
That's actually my favorite theory.
Yeah. Because why would it do that, right? Like, you're right. Like, why wouldn't it just kill everyone? And, you know, like, it killed a bunch of people. It stuck them to the walls. And it's like, I have to go sleep for a time in a quiet space. So it goes inside the little shuttle. Yeah. And maybe it's going to grow and split out into its queen form. But I think that what's more interesting is Ripley. Like, she's so fucking smart that she knows every single little button and like how to like shoot steam out of like certain areas. Or she's like, this is how you vent this. This is how you do that. And then she gets it to like come out. And she turns around and she starts singing like, I can't remember what she's saying. Like, oh, I thought it was like, why are there so many songs about rainbow?
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yes. With the full Kermit voice and everything.
Yeah.
And she turns around as it's about to come. Like it's like coming up behind her, and she like looks into like a reflection and then turns and sees it, and she's like, oh fuck, and hits it. It's like such a good you know when someone's creeping up behind you and you know they're there. Like, you know, if I was to be in the same room as you guys and I was to warn you that I'm going to creep up behind you and you could hear the creepy coming up, you'd have that moment of like fear in your chest.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, when's he going to be like, why are there so many, like right in your ear, you know? Like, it'd be so frightening.
Yeah.
And that's when she screams and hits the button and shoots him almost into space, and then shoots him with a harpoon, and then he gets shot out, and then the gun gets, you know, the movie does have way too many like then this, and like, oh, he's still caught. He's caught in the doorway.
Like the alien is outside it, and then it falls into one of the thrusters, and she guns it, and then the credits roll, kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
Also,
like, sorry.
No. You go first. I have like an interesting thing to say about the back of the ship.
No, I was just gonna say, like, there could have been like 10 more things, and they just had to decide when to roll the credits. Like, there was just like a bunch of different things that.
This whole sequence could have been the movie.
Yeah.
It's true. When he's crawling up inside the ship and like all the lights coming out, they tried to, again, this is another Ridley Scott factoid. I don't know if this is true. Sometimes when I listen to his commentaries, I'm like, I don't know if any of this is true or if he's just like up his own butt. But he was saying like, we tried like 14 times to make this look good and it all looked like shit. We didn't know what to do. And then I was like, what if we just like hang the whole thing from the ceiling and they just have a bunch of water drip out of it while it's going? And you're like, okay. And then you look at it and like, you can tell that that's what it is, but it fucking looks cool as hell.
Yeah.
Even the cameras are getting hit by like lots of water is dripping.
The xenomorph, when it flies out of the hatch, does just look like a man in a xenomorph outfit.
That's fine though. Yeah, that's what it was.
I know it's fine, but that was the one time I was like, these special effects. But I do like what you're saying. I do like the water flying,
the water drip.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
and then
the movie,
I mean, it's appropriate that the cat showed up because she then goes to sleep and she lies back and she says, what does she say? Something about these things make me a rainbow. Something we always will see.
We had Trevor Poelman on the show tonight, but we also had Frank Oz, so that's huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Something about it, the rainbow connection. Lovers and dreamers and me. Oh, but it's magic. Ridley Scott.
We just every single platform just took us down for that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Are you not sure that a bunch boosted up from it?
No, just it's not because of obviously we were so good that we hit the censors for copyright.
Well, I'm glad we got to the end of the greatest movie ever made.
Yeah. Shrek.
Should we talk Shrek the Third? Should we talk about our Home Alone at all, our final thoughts and our ratings?
We should. Let's do that now.
If you had to pick one,
what do you think the Home
when
Alone of it
is
all?
the Home Alone of it all?
Can someone please tell me when the Home Alone?
I really gotta
When's the
know.
Home Alone
When
of it all?
is the Home Alone of
What
it all?
is
the Home Alone of it all? Now that's the Home Alone of it all.
Now, normally I would explain it. Do you want me to explain it, Steve?
Yes, please.
You're so bad at it. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So the idea of the Home Alone of it all specifically is the idea that in the movie Home Alone, there's the kind of third act of the film where Kevin McAllister slaps down the blueprint, and that's when the thieves are there to rob Kevin.
Yeah.
They're called the Sticky Bandits.
They're called the Wet Bandits.
Sticky Bandits too.
Yeah.
We've sort of posited that every movie has the part of the movie you're there to see.
Right.
It can be like your favorite part of the movie or the third act, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Trevor, you are going to go first, of course. But in addition to that, we need your final thoughts and your rating, whether it be out of 10 or out of 50 or 17 bags of popcorn, whatever you want. But this is your time to sort of, in summation, give us your final thoughts on the film.
I feel like I could do that for like almost every movie ever, but this one is so like, just because it is so tense the entire time. I guess it is like the blueprint moment would be. I was gonna say chest bursting, but I'm gonna say
hard.
chest bursting. It's
Okay.
hard.
That's fine. That's
I'm gonna go with it. If you ask me in a year, I might say something different. And then that sequence from there, I guess, up until his mom comes home and then the family's like right behind because they waited for that flight from Friday.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I would say that's the blueprint moment, but then that's the Home Alone moment afterwards where they're looking around trying to catch the old guy. And then what was the final thoughts?
Final thoughts and a rating,
Yeah, 10 out of 10. I mean, I'm very generous with my ratings. Like if there's a movie, like the things I don't take into account is special effects. That doesn't affect my rating. Things like something that might not have aged. All my ratings are ever about is how much I enjoyed it throughout the whole movie, and it's a 10 out of 10 movie. So it's so good. It shaped who I became as a man. And not since I saw it the first time, just since I saw it last night.
Oh yeah. Like I'm finally a man.
Yeah.
I did it.
Next step is sex, and then
and then aliens too, and then maybe butt sex.
Maybe. So
well,
perfect.
Thank you, Trevor. I'm giving you the Johnny Carson. Invite you back to the couch anytime you want.
Yes.
This episode was great. This was one of my favorite episodes we've ever done, in fact.
Ooh.
So please come back soon.
Now I have to go back through and just see how many times he says that, but
it may or may not be every single time, but I mean it for you.
Okay.
If I don't say it, that's fucked, actually, because I invite my friends onto the show. Steven.
Do you want me to go next?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if I had to pick a Home Alone of it all, I'm gonna. It's close to what yours was, but mine is when he is being lowered down into the egg room, where he's like, it's okay, lower me, slower. Oh fuck, my knees. Oh my god, my ankle. Okay, hold on. It's really warm down here. Like when he starts to like everything starts to change, right? Like from what they've been comfortable with.
Right.
And he's alone, right? Like up until that moment, he's been with all other characters and, you know, going through and checking things. And you're like, okay, well, this is spooky, but is it spooky in the sense that we're going to see someone get killed? No, but yes, this is where you're like, yeah, he could die here. And I love every single moment of the egg chamber reveal. I love all the weird shit that's not explained, even though like we've had a million movies to really explain it. They don't do it still. I love the way the egg opens. I love that he's like, it's translucent and there's something moving in here. I love John Hurt, everything that he does in it. It's so fucking good. And when I think of Alien, I don't really think of the chestburster sequence as like something that sticks in my head as much as is an iconic moment of film history. This is what I think of when I think of this movie, is him being lowered in and him alone in there being like, what the hell am I looking at? Yeah. I love it so much. When it comes to my overall thoughts of this movie, I don't think that we've already been talking for 3 hours, and like I could easily talk for like 2 more hours about this movie. Yeah. Like there's nothing stopping us from doing it other than like people won't watch it, and I think other people got stuff to do. But I could talk about it forever. I love it. I love the Alien franchise. I love this movie, and I love that this movie started something that is maybe gonna never stop. You know, like this is just as powerful as something like Star Trek or Star Wars. If you got to pick your star-based, like franchises.
Mine's Star Search, but yeah, I get.
Yeah, I mean, I also like Stargate. Stargate's pretty good. Yeah. But Star Search. Sorry, it took me. I kind of ignored Star Search and went on to my own joke, but Star Search is pretty good. If I had to give it a rating, I would give this movie a man who looks onto something with milk in his veins and milk in his balls and milk all throughout his whole body, and then he'd say, "This is pretty good." This is pretty good.
We did forget to talk about the fact that he has so many anal beads inside of him.
He's got so many milky anal beads inside him, and he still thought this is pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Steve. You're welcome back to the couch anytime that you would like to come back. I hope that you come back soon.
I'm going to come back every week until the day you die.
My Home Alone all for this week is when Harry Dean Stanton goes into that weird room and gets eviscerated and the blood rains. And then after that, the alien is haunting us as the Grimoire of. This is a unique Grimoire of Familiar Killers choice because mostly we went through all of the big four: Chucky, Jason, Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy, and Michael Myers, right? So we pretty much finished all of those, and we had to add some new ones. So now we got Ghostface and Xenomorph, but those ones are going to last forever.
But we're now realizing, wait, is Xenomorph the actual villain, or are the androids the
villain? Or the androids?
I think it's capitalism.
I think capitalism is the true monster. Yeah. My final thoughts are brief. I love this movie, and every time I see it, I come up with the new stuff, and talking about it with you guys tonight was cathartic. Like, it's such a good movie to watch on your own, but when you just like start making jokes and dialing down into what the movie means and what it is, that's when it really flourishes and evolves. So thank you guys, that was great. My rating is a 5 out of 5, and also so much coolant, as much coolant as I can possibly drink at any time in my life.
If you drink all that coolant, you're not going to be able to turn off the self-destruct sequence of your spaceship.
True. Also my rating.
Oh my God. Well, we've reached the end of the episode, but I do think that we have to do one more thing, which is to let everybody out there know exactly what all of us have going on in the world. So that's our plug segment. You guys know what that means? It means it's time to fucking plug.
All right, let me just plug this in right here and.
That guy died. He died recording that. Trevor, I mean, you're a new guest here, so I guess it's up to you to tell us exactly what it is that you have going on outside of this beautiful show that we've recorded together for the last 3 hours.
I have a YouTube channel called Believe It or Not. And here's the kicker. I'm starting a second YouTube channel. I have never revealed the name of it anywhere. Should I give a special exclusive?
If you want to, yeah, that'd be great.
Exclusive here, and then we'll see if the rumor mill starts. It's going to be called Believe It or Not, Why Do You Care? And
Whoa.
launching maybe on Easter Sunday, but we're not officially announcing that date because we have a few things we have to figure out first. But yeah, so that's what's happening with me.
All right, cool. Well, Jason's not back yet, so I guess
He's dead.
Yeah, he died. He got electrocuted. That was him the whole time. I didn't want to tell anybody, but every week we each touch a live wire and see what happens. Well, I'm Stephen Bubba Blackfly Waters. You guys might know me as the voice of Darth Theorist and the voice of the Three-Eyed Theorist and the voice of the Half-Blood Theorist. But if you could check those channels out, we're growing, we're loving each other, and we know exactly what you guys want to hear. But we've got Discord, we've got everything. Come in, join us, talk about it. We've also got Stanlin, which I talk about every week. You should check it out on everything and everywhere that you can find your podcasts. I'm working on some stuff for the Sonar Network right now. A project called Randy, which is going to be released shortly. I'm actually rebuilding an old scene from that. In the last couple of days have been wild, trying to find old recordings from 10 years ago, being like, oh God, I can't find everyone's voices. And you kind of freak out about it, but it's kind of cool.
I did a spot for Stanland on one of my videos, and my favorite comment was someone goes, because I was really excited about it. I mean, it's an amazing stacked cast, and then someone goes, "We don't want to listen to your stupid friend's podcast."
Oh my God.
Bobby Moynihan's in it. John Waters is in it.
John Hamm.
He's here. Yeah. Your stupid friend John Hamm can suck it.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, we're working on something else that is, in the works. And then also Tinyverse. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing voices for that as well. I got a lot of stuff going on. I would love you guys to check out all of it, please. Amazing. Just for me, your old pal Steve. Jason, what are you gonna do?
Listen, first and foremost, this show, Hey Did You See This One? The name of the show is Hey Did You See This One? That's going to come into play for you in a few minutes here, Trevor. You can find us each and every week right here on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. We go live at 8 p.m. Eastern every single week. We rarely miss a week. It's kind of our hallmark. We have all kinds of people come in and chat with us. We love it. In addition to that, you can find us on all places where you get your audio version and your video on demand version over the weekend after. Somebody asked earlier if we were on Audible, at the very beginning of the show. I didn't know we could put our show on Audible, so maybe I'll look into that, because holy shit, that'd be a crazy get. I would like to say we crossed 2,000 subscribers on YouTube this week. That's huge.
Nice.
We're gonna get monetized next week.
And we're gonna get monetized.
Isn't it at 1,000? Is it at 1,000 that you get monetized?
It's 1,000, but it's 4,000 hours of watch time, and we're at 3,900 hours of watch time. So me and Steve are gonna be eating pizzas weekly, because it's projected to get us
Isn't that
$39
bad
a
now?
month.
Isn't it bad to talk about pizza online now? I think.
That's not what I mean.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
In addition to that, I am the voice of Super Kick Wrestling here in Toronto. We have a show tomorrow night, March 20th, right here in Toronto at the Great Hall. I'm the announcer. I say the names louder than everybody else says the names, I guess. That's what I always say. We have such matches as a return of Eric Young versus Jesse V for the Superkick Championship. We have Chris Chambers versus Jax Williams. We have this 6-man scramble with all these great wrestlers. There's a few people in here. I'm going to have to walk up to them and ask them how much they weigh, if it's something you have to do as a wrestling announcer. This is going to be huge. Eric Stevens versus Vision Orion. We've got Body Slams and Do-Rags versus the Double D's. There's Psycho Mike. If you know, you know. Dior Nollins versus Bhupinder Gujjar. And Layla Wild versus Taylor Rising. You can find all of that right here at Superkicked here in Toronto, March 20th. Tomorrow night. It is sold out, so you can't get tickets, but you could have if you bought them sooner. Our next show is next month on April 24th. So look out for that. That's as fast as I can do it. And also, you can find me on this show, which I already talked about. So that's it. But there is one question, okay? And let me try to get you through this because you're a first-time guest on the show. But I think you can do it. You're a smart guy. There's just one question that needs to be asked each and every week. And Trevor, I'd like you to ask right now.
What's the question? Oh, hey, did you see this one?
Well, my name is Harry Dean Stanton, and I'm going to go into this room now, and I hope nobody eats my butt.
My name is Harry Butt Eating Stanton, and I love eating butts.
Trevor, your thoughts?
But
Oh no! No!